should know. I have never really liked you at all. I cannot hide it anymore. I've been thinking about the future, trying to forget about the past. So many ways that I could change for the better.
This is a true crime discussions channel. We speculate. This is all just speculation. Because it's true crime, it's for mature audiences only. There will be no children allowed, no exceptions. Everything on this channel falls under fair use. Please remember to like, comment, subscribe, and share. It's free.
Hey, beautiful people. Happy Saturday. Thank you so much for being here. You lovely, beautiful people. Anchovy fish. I'm glad you got a notification this time. It's good to see you, love. Snarky Pants, good to see you. Southern Cats, Donna Smith. There is a lot of horrible things and crimes happening in Texas. There really is. Dandy, good to see you. My lovely Jenny Jen, A1 since day one. Good to see you. Cindy from sunny South Florida, and Stephanie. Shelby, good to see you. Tom, it's the talk of the town here at Dandy. I heard the sirens for an hour while the sheriffs were chasing the suspect. They finally caught him in Crawford. Wow. I wonder what's going on. We'll have to look into it. Dandelion, it's good to see you. Lori, Ann, and Chow, good to see you. Dolly Parton yellow cake at the moment. You know, I saw those Dolly Parton cakes and I almost got one, but then I didn't. You'll have to let me know how it is and how it tastes. Yes, please hit the thumbs up. Thank you, Cindy from sunny South Florida. Good to see you. Shelby, I don't know if I said hey to you, so I'm saying hey again just in case I haven't. Curious Christine, good to see you. Scratch the Paint, good to see you. Good to see you. So glad y'all are here with me today. Karen, good to see you. Thank you for being here. Allegedly speculating, good to see you. And thank you for being here to run the show. Bethina, good to see you. Peaches, good to see you. Kat, good to see you. Thank you for being here. Kim Deasy in the Heezy, thank you for being here. And the classic one, thank you for being here. Happy Saturday. I hope your day is going amazing. Beach lover, good to see you. Hello, everybody coming in. Great to see you. And thank you for being here. You guys are amazing. Thank you for coming back day after day after day. You know, I'd bring things to you that are in the news, but not everybody finds it as, gripping as some other people might. So I definitely appreciate y'all. And I can't, hey, Kelly, and Kim Gittle has entered the chat. Some people don't find it as interesting as others. So thank you so much for coming back day after day to be here with us. I greatly appreciate it. Y'all, I saw two videos last night. These aren't necessarily thank you Karen for the super chat. Why do you say sorry I haven't been rude lately? You've never been rude, my love. What's going on? Why do you think you're rude? Thank you for the support, and I greatly appreciate it. That was very sweet and supportive of you. I saw two clips that aren't necessarily Halloween clips, but I had to share them with y'all because I just found them hilarious. Lori Ann, yes, Mr. Speculating got back home yesterday during the live stream. I don't know if you guys heard me, but I said, hey, when he walked in the door because he came in as I was live, and then when I got done doing the live stream, he was very affectionate. And it was very nice. I definitely missed him. Kelly, there is so much drama on these YouTube streets this morning. Some people going to court. Good Lord, they I sit over here and I'm just like, y'all, yeah, these YouTube streets are crazy. I'm over here like,
this is some dysfunctional shit.
with my Cheetos and coffee and everything. Kim Gittle has entered the chat, said Ahmed is a nut job. He did a video on the Three's Company's theme song. Do you mean in a good way? I find him very funny, and I like his personality personally. Dandy said, I came across news today that a substance lord down in Argentina committed the homicide of 3 women on Instagram a little over a week ago. We talked about that briefly, Dandy Lioness. Evidently they stole some substances from him or something. Ashley, good to see you. Peaches says, I'm back. Had to update my laptop. Good to see you, love. Jenny Jen said, I love the conversation and giggles here each day with the lovely speculating family, and we love you too. You're so sweet. Everyone has their own favorite topics. However, when you share different topics, we find new interests. Yes, y'all are so sweet. I'm so blessed to know y'all, Cindy and Jenny and everybody else in the speculating family. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much. Thank you for being here at my Cheetos Two Fingers. I'll lick that cheese dust off of it too, in a good way. He always makes me laugh. Even when he's in a hospital bed, he keeps the humor going. He's very good at that. I admire him for that. All right, I had to show these two clips to you guys because it's, again, since we're talking about dysfunction out here on these YouTube streets, check these two dysfunctional clips out. Not Halloween related, but funny nonetheless. Okay, so for this one, you've got to look at the top where the messages are coming. They're basically reading somebody's messages in dramatic ways, and I just found it hilarious. And Mr. Speculating came in waving a wad of cash, but it's his paycheck. That has to last. So put it in the wallet and stop waving it around like a crazy person.
Start stripping.
Oh, stop it. Sit down. Sit down, sir. Monica, good to see you. Chow, thank you so much for gifting 5 memberships. I didn't mean to pause it. I'm going to start it over again so that we can enjoy it thoroughly all the way through. I apologize about that. He came in waving money like he's at the damn strip club. Chow, good to see you. And thank you for the memberships that you just gifted. Let me access my live stream and see if I can see who those went to. Oh, I'm in my studio. Hold on just a minute. Hold on just a minute. Hold on just a minute. Okay. Those memberships went to a Native Girl, Jerry, Hold My Halo, Karen Sorrento, and Angry Rabbit. That rabbit is not happy. He is angry. Thank you so much, Chow, for gifting 5 memberships. And I will grab the Halloween Haunted Train, that's what it's called, to pick our new members up. If you guys were gifted and you are aware you were gifted, please tell Chow thank you. Thank you again, Chow. That was so very sweet and supportive of you. Thank you so much, Chow. I greatly appreciate that. That was so nice. Oh, I'll let him know that y'all said hey. So dance for him. I guess he doesn't know we can't see. I still am not about to strip. Who knows? A button might get hit and a camera might come on. Lord of mercy. He did. He did. I like that train too. I think it's cool. All right, I'm going to start this over so we can get the full context because I find it hilarious. And this is the second one.
Kevin, why were you late for school?
Hold on. Let me tell you the title of it. It says, When Trashy Adults Have Kids. I saw this one when I was
Kevin, why were you late for school again? So sorry. My mom had to take us to our dad's house so she could scream at him. At 7 in the morning? And that's my second dad, not my third one, you know? You have 3 dads? Maybe 4. I won't know till Friday, though. My daddy is in prison. Oh, lucky Oniko. Oh.
Hey, Nick.
He's literally been to all the prisons. He was really good at it. Hey guys, how about let's take our test. Let's take it.
Dandy said I prefer meth.
Yeah, okay.
This
Hey
is
Sadie, the first one is 7. Thank you, Kevin. Oh, okay, yeah. Kevin, I've already warned you about cheating. I'm calling your mom right now. Okay, tell her I said hi. And the second one is 4. Yes, Miss Dingleberry, I just wanted to let you know I caught your son cheating.
Tell him I said stop.
Kevin, she said to stop. No, I don't think I want to. He said no.
Yeah, he don't ever listen to me.
Also, Sasha is eating her test right now.
Yes, I told her to do that so I ain't gotta cook tonight.
What?
Oh, okay, yeah.
Like what?
That's not all he's doing. That's not all.
Not trying to screen snipe. Let me back out of that. Hold on. Y'all, I saw that this morning and I was cooking breakfast. I was making some bacon and eggs and I was like, that shit was had me laughing. Let me see what his name is. Hold on, I gotta go back. It automatically went to a live stream and I need to go back to my playlist. Nope, not that playlist. Hold on, I could at least pull it up so y'all could see it. Good morning, Soups. Good to see you. I think it's in, yeah, this one. So the one that was singing, Do You Do Cocaine? And I think they prefer meth, was Lewky, Lewky. And then the When Trashy Adults Have Bad Kids is Lee McNasty. Lee Leigh _ Mc McNasty. I'll share the link for that one. Because evidently he does a lot of videos. I just saw that one and I thought it was absolutely hilarious. Tom said should introduce her to Mr. Dingleberry, better known as Stephen Stearns. Burn. Hey, Stoic. Where are those videos from? Gotta follow the guy. Yeah, I just dropped his link. They were just on YouTube, and I thought they were funny. Bethina said my oldest daughter laughs like an insane person at these. She's 12. Stoic, good to see you. Good to see you. Okay, so let's talk about some things this morning. I got several things to talk to y'all about. What are we going to start with? Let's start with the all insane and powerful Diddy. I got a bunch of stuff pulled up about David. Okay, so we'll do this one. This article is titled, I had a prime seat for Diddy's last act, and one thing is clear, the show is over. 10 minutes after 10 a.m. Friday, Sean Diddy Combs walked into the federal courtroom. The familiar one. Okay. Sorry, let me try that again. Let me see if this is a video too. That's that video he did.
You gotta give her a bottle then. Know that you mean something to people. Know that you mean something to people. Like you live somewhere in people's heart.
Yeah, we saw that yesterday. Okay. 10 minutes after 10 a.m. Friday, Sean Diddy Combs walked into the federal courtroom, the familiar one he has sat in for his 8-week trial. One final time for his sentencing hearing. The music mogul hugged his attorneys, waved to his family sitting in the pews, and sat down for what would be a dramatic 6-hour hearing that determined his fate for the next 4 years. Quote, I don't care about the fame or the money or making records or performing, the award-winning rapper declared in his first remarks to the court. But by that point, his legions of fans, both inside and outside the courthouse, had already been presented with a show, the last act of his farewell tour. I had a prime seat. The sentencing hearing consisted of multiple speakers, a high-production video, guest stars, and concluded with the headliner himself. Emotions were running high and the drama was in full force. The day was filled with tears, gasps, and palpable anxiety. Even 3 months after the blockbuster trial ended with his conviction on 2 prostitution-related charges, the 55-year-old convicted felon was still the hottest ticket in town. Line holders and ardent fans began queuing outside the downtown Manhattan courthouse on Thursday afternoon. When I arrived this morning, still hours before the hearing kicked off, hordes of people, camera crews, and police officers lined the block. Even before most people had their coffees, the crowd outside seemed energized to see the final stage of the high-profile case. Some people were guessing his sentence length. Others wondered which victims, if any, would make an appearance. Others still quietly asked if there was any chance he'd walk free today. Ultimately, there were enough spectators to fill up at least 3 overflow rooms in addition to the main court. As if you were at a theater being asked to silence your phone before the movie starts, a courtroom deputy asked for silence before the judge and defendant entered the room. Within minutes of the hearing starting, however, drama ensued. Who would have thunk it? Hey, Edith, good to see you. Dandy said, I think he'd want to be a better role model for his children. You would think so. He already served a year, and with good behavior, he can serve only 85% of his remaining sentence. Yep, Donna, and we're going to talk about that too. Hey, Edith. Hey, Edith and Anders. Good to see you. Bethina said, I do have a broad sense of humor. I laugh watching her laugh. Aw, that is so sweet. That was a funny video. I found it hilarious. Okay. Mia, Diddy's former assistant who had asked to read her victim impact statement at the hearing days earlier, no longer wished to address the court. Prosecutor Christy Slavic said Diddy's attorneys had objected, accusing her of lying on the stand. Mia's change of course was, quote, at least in part because the letters submitted by the defense, which can only be described as bullying, Slavic said. The judge scolded the defense team, calling the tone of the letter inappropriate. Minutes later, the judge outlined a sentencing range of 70 to 87 months, saying he saw, quote, no basis for a departure, unquote, from the guidelines. The statement seemed to make the defense lawyers sink in their seats ever so slightly. But despite the seemingly inevitability of the outcome, the show was just warming up. Slavic followed, urging the court to consider the harm done to the victims in the case. Quote, today is about accountability and justice for the public and for the victims whose lives have been shattered by the defendant's abuse and exploitation, the prosecutor said. The government asked for him to be sentenced to 135 months behind bars. The defense team took the stage for the rest of the day in a showing that included 5 attorneys, a reverend, and an 11-minute campaign video over the space of 4 hours in a desperate last-ditch attempt to prove the rapper's life and character weren't what had been heard in the courtroom months earlier. And y'all, we saw that video yesterday, and it was a pathetic attempt in my opinion, especially because I know he was high the whole time. As somebody who used to get high, you're a completely different person. And yeah, I'm sure he's very remorseful about a lot of shit now that he's had time to sit his ass down in jail. But it's not long enough for the shit that he did. I'm sorry, it's just not. It's not long enough for him to learn his lesson and to not come out here and not do drugs. Maybe he won't. Maybe he will think about his children and all that. But Lord have mercy. I mean, they're pretty positive that he possibly killed their mother. Like, the shit just don't add up. Ashton, I don't know if I said hey to you earlier, love, but good to see you. It's not fair. And yeah, Donna said one of his kids called him a superhero. In their eyes, he's done nothing wrong. Now, I get it that that's their daddy, and, you know, of course they're going to love and support him, okay? But I think they also need to understand what he did to Cassie and his other victims, you know? His life, the whole time he's been famous, pretty much has been one big party. He's a very smart person. Able to create corporations and record labels and run all of that while being, you know, higher than bird pussy. But excuse my French, I apologize about the language, but you know, he still needs to sit down. He needs to sit down for a minute. I saw some of the good things he did, but I really feel like there's ulterior motives to all of that. There was a reason, even donating millions of dollars, that's a tax write-off. That's why they do that. Because so they don't have to pay taxes on that money. They can donate that money, write it off, and pay less taxes, unless I'm misunderstanding. Hey, Kalisa, good to see you. He killed her, in my opinion, too. How do you die of the flu in this day and age, number one, and in the bathtub? Bethina, you're right. Intelligence doesn't equal good. Exactly. And I agree, he is pure evil. He needs to sit down and think about it. Dandy said he don't care about his children or he wouldn't have done what he did. I agree. Exactly.
Boom, 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 bam.
If he'd have thought about them, he would not have done what he did. Scratch said what he did is awful. I agree. He's going to retaliate, not immediately, but one of those victims will go on an accident someday. That's what I'm afraid of. And it's very possible. You know what he did to Wiz Khalifa when Cassie was talking to him. He did buy a coffin made of gold months before she died. Yep. Months before she died, he had her coffin picked out. Rachel, all the good things are just PR campaign. He's only sorry he got caught. Again, I agree, and it's good to see you. Ted Bundy was also extremely intelligent. You're absolutely right. I agree. Okay. Nicole, I'm not even going to. Oh, Nicole Westmoreland, one of his attorneys, spoke about how the mogul inspired and helped so many people through his music career and business and charity work. Diddy, quote, dedicated so much to breaking the change of systemic racism, unquote, she told the court. She suddenly and unexpectedly broke down when discussing his media company Revolt. One person walked into the overflow room and uttered, quote, is the lawyer crying, unquote. I mean, again, I have no doubt that he's manipulative and he might have done things that were good for the community, but there's always an incentive to do that. I'm glad that he might have broken down systemic racism, but that also has a lot to do with our society over the time that he has been what he has been. Okay, he came into running a record label and all that in the 90s. The 90s were a completely different time, and without him, us as a society would have, understood as we do today that some of the things that were being said and done back in the day were racist as fuck and it needed to stop. So, I mean, I think it's just kind of, he looks like he's done these things by proxy, and I'm glad that he has done some things for the African American community, okay, but it doesn't outweigh the bad that he's done. And how many African American people that were part of his record label did he destroy? Did he sign and then not do anything else with to keep them from getting big? You know what I mean? Yes, Donna, he ripped off his artists. Exactly. Did he donate baby oil? No, but we looked it up and it's $12 at the jail for him to get baby oil. Or the mystery dye of the flu. Exactly, the classic one. Cindy said, I'm going to refer to my favorite saying, you can sprinkle chocolate chips on shit all day and it will always leave a shit taste in your mouth. I agree with that and I like that. Snarky said, I guess when you have enough money, you can buy anything. It's not right or fair, but it's the way the world works, sadly. I agree. Unfortunately. Hey, Miss Woozy. Good to see you. John Wayne Gacy, yeah, he was running for a politician. He was running for council or something in town. He was very smart, too. The sad thing, if he starts recording again, there will probably be people who buy his music. Oh, yeah, you know it. Okay. When the rapper's 6 adult kids stood up to speak, suddenly it wasn't just Westmoreland in tears. Their words were powerful and emotional. Quincy called his father a, quote, superhero, unquote. Chance pleaded, quote, we're just daughters who need, dang it, didn't mean to do that, who need our father. Delilah concluded, speaking through sobs, quote, we cannot watch our baby sister grow up fatherless the way we grew up motherless. But do you realize that you're growing up motherless because of your father, more than likely, in my opinion, allegedly speculating? Hey, Jada, good to see you. Peaches said, I know someone who went to the same prison as Gacy. Let's just say he was not suffering with all his little prison boyfriends. He probably wasn't. That doesn't make me surprised at all. Miss Woozy said, a shit sandwich is still a shit sandwich, no matter how much cheese you put on it. I agree. Diddy, who has remained composed throughout the day, buried his face with his hands as if signaling his heart was breaking for his children, and then wiped away tears from his eyes. I certainly sniffled. Others around me shook their heads, acknowledging how moving their remarks were. At least one person sitting near me had tears running down their cheeks. Please keep in mind that they have the money to afford PR people, okay? They have the money to afford to write what they need to say, what they should say, and what's going to get tear jerk reactions. They have people that can tell them exactly what they need to say to get the reaction that they want. And again, he only got 4 years and he's going to get credit for the 18 months he's done in jail. And then if he could possibly get out of that with good behavior. Yeah, he'll be on probation for 5 years after that. But again, I mean, with the right money, look at what was the case? One of the people, like, they ended up getting in trouble, and we were questioning how in the hell did the probation officer not know what was going on. I think that was the Emmanuel Haro case, but like, if if that case can slide under the rug, think about Diddy with all the fucking money and all the fucking power and all the fucking everything, how he can pay the probation officer to look the other way. So I don't think for a second it's going to change him at all. I'm sorry for the kids. I know that they're hurt, but if he really cared about them, he would have sat his ass down a long time ago. His tears are igniter fluid. Nothing human about him. I agree. Kim Porter's friend is the children's nanny. He hasn't been raising them. I believe that too. I don't think that she ever really wanted him around, but something to that effect. Like he didn't see them much or something. 4 years seems fair considering how many lives he completely destroyed. So wrong. I agree. Not that it seems fair, but I know what you were saying. So many lives, y'all. So many lives. Does it equal smart or integrity? I agree. The tone changed dramatically. The defense team played a montage of their client's life, which we saw yesterday, complete with clips of him running a marathon, early 2000s home videos, and excerpts from his interviews with the media. The production value was high. The music in the background was low. It was reminiscent of footage shown before a concert begins, getting the crowd to warm up before the headliner appears. Instead, the mogul slouched in his seat, emotionally coping with the personal footage. And again, they paid somebody to do that, to make it be as tear-jerking as it possibly could be. His defense attorneys argued that he'd undergone enough punishment. Brian Steele remarked on the hundreds of civil lawsuits against his clients and the media storm that has followed the criminal case. The rapper's dark secrets, from his drug addiction to sex life, put on public display. Arguing for his release, Mark similarly said, quote, "This has been a devastating, destructive case for this man on the largest of stages," unquote. At 4 p.m., 5 hours after the hearing began, the hotly anticipated act stood up and took a deep breath and told the judge he didn't want any more stages. As he spoke, the room was rapt. No one was whispering to their neighbor or rifling through their bag for a pen. Everyone was leaning forward, anxious to finally hear what Diddy had to say about his own trial. I wanted to know what he said. Peaches said, yeah, my friend was a pretty boy who was very young at the time. Gacy told him from his cell that as he was walking by, quote, "They wouldn't have put me here if they knew how much fun I would be having," unquote. That is insane to me. Right, Beach Lover. He may get out by next year. What kind of justice is that? I'm sorry for his children, okay? But he destroyed a lot of lives. And he needs to account for that. But he won't. I question if we'll ever know how much that judge was probably paid behind the scenes. I need to look that up. And we'll have to find out when he actually goes to prison. Who died? Eazy-E. Oh, yeah. Eazy-E died of AIDS. Yeah. Did he already get transferred? They used to take like a week or two to transfer you. Yeah, that's what they said, but ultimately it was pneumonia. Okay, thank you for that information. So as he stood up and he spoke, he apologized to his ex-girlfriends, Cassie Ventura and, quote, Jane, unquote, for his violence and abuse. The mogul repeatedly underscored how he was a changed man. Instead of performing, he wanted to take care of his family, he said. Yeah, I'm sure he would have said anything to get out of that courtroom, but he would have been performing, didn't he? He already had speaking engagements scheduled in Miami. Diddy, who had been facing the judge, turned to face his family sitting in the pews. He apologized to his children and then to his mother, his voice breaking as he said, quote, "Mom, I failed you as a son. I'm sorry. You taught me better. You raised me better," unquote. The fame and the drugs are behind him. He said, quote, "I got lost in my journey of life. I'm not this larger than life person. I'm just a human being," unquote. But I think he still sees himself as a larger than life person. Like there's always bits of truth in the lies. Speaking to the judge directly, Diddy vowed, quote, "If you give me another chance, I won't let you down," unquote. The court broke for just 5 minutes, unlike the verdict day when people stood up in anticipation of the jury's verdict. When the judge returned, everyone remained seated. The mood was somber. The judge's sentencing estimation from earlier in the day was still seemingly imprinted in everyone's mind, as were the victims' testimonies of domestic violence that Slavic had quoted. Quote, "Nothing about this case was good, except the victims who came forward," the prosecutor said, later praising the bravery and sharing some of the worst moments of their lives. The sentence was in part, quote, "to send a message to abusers and victims alike that exploitation and violence against women is met with real accountability," unquote, the judge added. Diddy was given 50 months in prison and a fine of $500,000. A few people in the room cheered. Both teams of lawyers sat in their seats looking dejected. Neither side were handed what they'd asked for. Diddy pinched the bridge of his nose, apparently disappointed. His kids appeared upset, but their tears from hours earlier had dried. They wouldn't respond to a braying press pack outside who asked them how it felt after their, quote, "daddy got 4 years," unquote. Quote, "The court is adjourned," unquote, the judge said. And just like that, the show was over. Push notifications about the mogul's fate popped up on my phone as I headed home from the courthouse. Forgetting I was still wearing my press pass, someone glanced at it before asking me, quote, "Wait, you are press? Were you at Diddy?" Unquote. Diddy might be done with fame, but there are no signs it's done with him. The Independent, oh, okay. That's just giving me information about the Independent who put this article out. So to go back, I wanted to know what he had said specifically. Here. So he said he apologized to Cassie and Jane for the violence and abuse. He repeatedly underscored how he was a changed man and said instead of performing, he wanted to take care of his family. He faced his judge. He had been facing the judge. He turned around and faced his family in the pews and said, quote, "Mom, I failed you as a son. I'm sorry. You taught me better. You raised me better. I got lost in my journey of life. I'm not this larger than life person. I'm just a human being. If you give me another chance, I won't let you down." I don't think he deserves another chance. I think he should have gotten the max, especially considering that he was facing so many charges and all he got hit with already was the 2 counts of prostitution out of all the charges. Like that should have been enough. Okay, all the charges are gone. You only got hit with 2 counts of prostitution. You're going to do the max on these charges because all the other charges were dismissed. That's the way I would have looked at it. Cindy said, FYI, his attorney Mark's wife, Karen, is Luigi Mangone, the guy accused of the United Healthcare CEO homicide. It's her attorney. His attorney. I thought I'd heard that. How did he get such a high-profile attorney, I wonder? There's some speculation he may end up in the federal prison here in Colorado. Interesting. Well, it's funny that you mentioned Suge Knight, Ashton Lee. Ashton Lee said maybe Suge Knight can have some prison justice. Lord, I cannot speak today. So it's funny that you mention Suge Knight because he issued Diddy a warning. So let's see what old Suge Knight had to say.
Suge,
after this ad. Again, I'm on my computer, not on YouTube, so evidently we got ads today. Maybe. Why is it doing this? Let me close X real quick and see if that helps. Okay, hold on. Let me try this again. Whose parents have big money, Tom? Hey, Wolfpack. Good to see you. Are you talking about Suge Knight's parents? Ugh, this justice? There should have been a permanent restraining order from him and his associates having contact with his victims. They should have entered that too, and I didn't even think about that. And Chovy Smith, I hope that they'll be protected. But his reach is so far and long. I am genuinely concerned. It seemed like Cassie got married and has children and like lives on a farm or something from what I saw, and is like trying to deal with all the trauma from back then, which I don't even know how you could do that. But I'm really happy for her, and I hope she and her children and her husband remain safe. No second chance for you, homie. He won't even serve that if he can't. He won't even serve that if he can behave, and I agree. That's what's sad. Mangone. Oh, Luigi's parents have big money. That's how he got such a good lawyer. Okay. Suge is a twisted motherfucker himself. All right, let's see what he had to say.
Suge, we've talked a lot throughout the course of this trial. He got 4 years, 2 months. Do you agree with the sentence?
Well, I'm not the judge or the jury, but what I would say is that on one side of it, it's great for his children because kids are the future. And the other side of it, at least the victims got some satisfaction out of it. But when you really look at it, 3 years seems like 30 years to Puffy. So it's not like he walking in there and it's going to be Disneyland.
So he said 3 years is like 30 years to Diddy. And you know, I didn't think about it from that perspective. It probably is, considering how he has had it made his whole entire, well, not his whole entire life, but he's not used to living in, you know, jailhouse conditions. He is the definition of thug. Thug life, homie. Thug life.
You know, we have a reputation and he's a famous person. So either people are going to love him or they're going to hate him. It's not going to be a gray area. So I'm quite sure it's going to be a lot of controversy going on, you know?
Well, you know, his defense counsel raised that point to the judge and said something like,
Hey,
for someone like him, it'd be a trophy to hurt him. He already said that apparently he was almost attacked, shanked in jail. What's the next 3.5, 4 years going to be like for him?
So I do have an article on that as well. Evidently, he's already gotten attacked in jail. And I'm imagining, I'm thinking that if somebody was going to be extorted, it definitely will be Puffy. I'm thinking that a lot of people are going to have it real nice while Puffy's serving time, because they're going to extort the fuck out of him. And I don't know how much he can fight or put up a fight when it's not him hitting a woman. You know what I mean? I don't care much about how he feels either, and it's good to see you, Miss North and Miss O and Mayla's mom. Mayla's mom said this is not justice. I agree.
Well, more than likely they're going to try to do their best to protect him. But once we all got to understand is that we do understand what we sign up for. And we do understand that we benefit
No, I don't think so.
from mostly everything we do. So when your bed gets...
Hold on, I'm going to back it up just a smidge because I talked and we couldn't understand it. I don't think he's going to have to serve 100% of his time. I think he'll probably get out early with good behavior. And he'll be able to have good behavior because he'll be in there buying commissary for everybody to save from getting shanked or his ass took or whatever. You know what I mean? Not to be blunt, but there's not supposed to be children on my page anyway. So
we do understand what we sign up for. And we do understand that we benefit from mostly everything we do. So when your bed get a little rough, you gotta respect him and lay in it. And he can get his relationship better with God, or he can get his work workout on and get ready to.
When I went through menopause, I was upset about it.
So he said, we understand what we do, and when your bed gets a little bit rough, you got to lay in it. Basically, you gotta make your bed and lay in it. You know what I mean? And then he said,
one way or the other, you got to respect him and lay in it. And he can get his relationship ready with God, or he can get his workout on and get ready to protect himself. One way.
So again, he's saying, you better get right with God because somebody's going to come after you, or you need to work out. I don't think they're going to come after him, though. They're going to try to extort him, yeah. But he's going to be buying everybody's fucking food in there, so they'll probably leave him alone as long as he buys their food for them.
That other, it's going to be a situation that's not pleasant or happy for him,
Shug, I mean, he said today, I know that I've learned my lesson. He's been arguing that he's a changed man who wants to do better, wanted the second chance to have immediate freedom. Do you believe him?
Well, what I believe is that the only thing I felt that they didn't do, none of his baby mothers came in and spoke up and said they'd never been beaten or they never had anything done to them badly. So that's a question that makes you say, okay, I think that's one of the things that the prosecution and everybody looked at.
Shug, if you could tell Diddy.
So it is interesting that none of the women he has children with ever spoke about his abuse. And they're probably afraid that he would take their children. I didn't even think about that. That's a interesting perspective there from Suge Knight. It's 85%. Okay. He's going to be in protective custody. I doubt he'll be in Gen Pop. Any idea what prison he'll go to? Maybe that one that Martha Stewart was in. I don't know. I don't think this is a federal case. I don't know necessarily that he'll go to a federal prison, which is what he would want. He would want to go to a federal prison because that's a better it's an easier place to do your time. They have like microwaves in the pod and food and all kinds of shit. 2/3 of the time, I thought it would be at least a half, but I'm not sure. We're gonna see because I've got some articles and things on it, so that should let us know and break it down for us. So he's probably going to be there in about another year. They probably didn't want to lie under oath. That's a good point, Miss Woozy. The judge made it sound like he was making an example out of Pup with the sentence. I don't see where he thinks this is making an example. I don't either. It is a federal case? Okay. So then he'll go to a federal prison, which will be easier for him anyway. He's not going to have it as rough as he would in a regular prison. But it'll be bad for him. It'll be hard for him, but it won't be as bad as it would be for any of us. Good to see you, Mustang and Dystopic. It's a federal case. Okay, thank you guys. So yeah, he'll have it easier than any of us would. But it'll still be hard for him because, again, think about him he's had one of those people that could have anything he wanted at the, toss of a little bit of cash. And he's not going to be able to do that as much there. So it's still going to be rough for him. Somebody that's lived in the lap of luxury to the extent that he has. He was charged but not convicted of RICO. Lord, I'm tired. Rico Suave. No, he was not charged on RICO. All he got charged with was transporting ex-girlfriends for the purpose of prostitution. And considering, again, like I said earlier, all the charges that he was looking at and that he only got charged with those two, I think they should have given him the maximum sentence on those two charges because that was like the least amount of the charges that he could have gotten.
The prosecution and everybody looked at.
Shug, if you could tell Diddy one thing tonight, what would it be?
Fuck you, Hobie.
Well, I feel he got a relationship with God, so I don't need to tell him that. But if it was about surviving in prison, don't listen to nobody in prison. Go there and do your own time. First thing you do, don't worry about who got your back. Have your own back. And use your time to better yourself. Use your time to working out, getting your health better.
I agree with what he said.
Don't get on drugs.
Yep.
Because you know it's more drugs in prison than it is the streets. So you got to stay away from the drugs, stay away from the unnecessary BS, and make sure you make it home safely. But you're not home until you're home. Be prepared to fight.
I mean, that goes for anybody going into prison. Don't do the drugs.
Cassie Ventura is moving forward.
Okay. Well, this is a quick video we can watch on that too. But yeah, there's drugs there. Don't do the drugs. Watch your back and be prepared to fight. That would be good advice for anybody going to prison. Dandy said he was charged with RICO but not convicted. There's a difference in being charged and being convicted. Right. All he was convicted of was the taking the girlfriends for prostitution reasons. That's what I meant when he was only convicted on the lesser charges. Right. And that's why I think he should have gotten the maximum, honestly.
When my hair started thinning.
He was only convicted of the lesser charges in all of it.
A lot because I didn't want the
After Sean Diddy Combs was
okay, hold on.
Cassie Ventura is moving forward. After Sean Diddy Combs was sentenced to 50 months in prison for 2 counts of transportation to engage in prostitution on October 3rd, his ex reacts to U.S. District Judge Aaron Subramanian's decision in a statement from her lawyers. The attorneys tell E! News, while nothing can undo the trauma caused by Combs, the sentence imposed today recognizes the impact of the serious offenses he committed.
What? It absolutely does not. He should have gotten that and more just for what he did to Cassie. I know his lawyer is her lawyer is trying to, save face and be professional. But the sentence imposed today recognizes the impact of the serious offenses he committed. It absolutely does not. I starkly disagree. Hold on. Douglas Wigder and Meredith Bayertog
committed. They add, we are confident that with the support of her family and friends, Ms. Ventura will continue healing, knowing that her bravery and fortitude have been an inspiration to so many.
I agree with that. She is an inspiration and she was very brave for what she did. And I hope that she does heal as much as she can from that trauma. But the sentence imposed was not reflective of what he did at all.
Ventura was in a relationship with Combs on and off from 2007 to 2018. In addition to his over 4 years in prison, Combs was handed 5 years of supervised release and a fine of $500,000. Ahead of his sentencing, Combs, who was acquitted on sex trafficking and racketeering charges during his federal trial, expressed remorse for, quote, all of the hurt and pain he caused others through his conduct in a letter to the judge. He wrote in the filing, obtained by NBC News October 2nd, I lost my way. I got lost in my journey, lost in the drugs and the excess. My downfall was rooted in my selfishness. I have been humbled and broken to my core.
I have been humbled and broken to my core. No, sir, you have not. Miss O pointed out for coming from Suge Knight to Diddy, that was very nice, and it was. He should have got convicted of everything and the max sentence, in my opinion. I agree 100%, Shelby. Miss North said, I agree, sentencing him to 11 would have been something, even if he did get off with being good. Exactly. And the prosecution wasn't even asking for the maximum sentence. The maximum sentence would have been 20 years, 10 years for each charge. But even the prosecution was cutting him a break by sentencing him to 11 years. And he still didn't even get that. I can't. If anything, it was just proof that you can get away with whatever you want if you have enough money. It's a disgrace of the American judicial system. And that's what's so important about this case. It all hinged on that. Will he get away with everything just because he's rich and famous? And the court system proved yet again that, yeah, with the proper amount of money, you can get away with anything. It's so publicly. This guy's manipulative and wants to stay relevant. I agree. Once you sell your soul to the devil, there's no going back. I agree with that too, Ashton. The problem is the jury didn't believe Cassie. She stated she still loved him, and she went along with the freak-offs in the beginning, just my opinion of why he wasn't convicted. And it is important, but she was telling the truth. When you're with somebody, especially for 11 damn years, when you're so young to begin with, you will always love them. I still have love for my abuser. I would never be with him again. Probably never see him again. I don't even know where he's at, but it doesn't mean that I won't always love him. I mean, you do love the person, especially when you're in a long-term relationship with them. But people of the jury should have understood that, yes, while she still loves him, it doesn't mean that it's any less impactful what happened to her and what he put her through. I agree. I think that she 100% went along with the freak offs just to make him happy, because she wanted to make him happy. She wanted him to love her. And she tried. He thought he was getting out after the verdict. He did Mustang. He even scheduled meeting or speaking engagements in Miami for next month. But he did pretty much get away with it. The making of a monster. Miss Woozy agrees with Ashton and said, I'm not religious, but the devil can be a lot of things. I agree. I wonder if Luigi has even more hope now that his lawyers got him such a good deal. He has the same lawyer. Probably. Miss Scorpio Rising, thank you so very much for gifting 5 memberships. That was so very sweet and supportive of you, and I greatly appreciate it. Those memberships went to Artemis Prime, Kathy Villarreal, Jean Marie O'Mahony, WRFG Radio, Free Goodland, The Final Countdown, and Kathleen Hensel. If you guys were gifted from Miss Scorpio Rising and you are aware you were gifted, please tell Miss Scorpio Rising thank you. Thank you so much, Miss Scorpio Rising. And I will grab our haunted train for the month of October to pick up our new members. Thank you again, Miss Scorpio, for being so very sweet, supportive, and gorgeous. I like when the cat goes by. Hey, Max. Karen said, welcome new friends and members. Thank you, love. Children who are abused still love their parents. Exactly, Kalisa. It's the same thing. Amazingly, people are just now realizing the justice system has tiers. Us, them, and the other. We, the people, are sick of it. I agree. Hey, Granny. Good to see you. And congratulations on everything that you got. Not the stuff in Oklahoma, but the other stuff. I'm very proud of you, and I'm so glad that you're doing everything that you're doing. You are an inspiration. Glad to see you. Hope you're having a good day. I like the haunted train too, but I feel like it needs more. You know what I mean? Okay. Let's finish seeing what Cassie's lawyer had to say.
Combs also spoke in court ahead of his sentencing, telling Judge Subramanian per NBC News, I want to apologize to my 7 children, before turning to his mom, Janice Combs, saying, my mother, you taught me better. You raised me better. He added, I will never jeopardize my family. No matter what anybody says, I know now I am truly sorry for it all.
I think that's the end of that. I again, with her lawyer saying, while nothing can undo the trauma caused by Combs, the sentence imposed today recognizes the impact of the serious offenses he committed. I disagree starkly. Disagree 100% with that. I rebuke that statement in the name of Jesus. My cat Johnny Meow Clean posts himself up on the only walkway between my desk and the kitchen and swipes at me every time I walk by. That is adorable. He's only sorry because he wants out. I agree. Makes me frustrated when the public sits back and says, just let the justice system handle it, and think that has any correlation with reality. I agree. Okay, so this article is titled, Diddy's Sentencing. Defense lawyer claims a man tried to stab the mogul in jail. He's getting extorted. Disney. Y'all, I can't even speak. Diddy's legal team is doing everything they can to get him out of the slammer. from personal statements from friends and family to an apology from Diddy himself, his attorneys are now pulling out another card to convince the judge to just let him out. At today's sentencing, defense lawyer Brian Steele revealed that a guard at the Brooklyn jail where Diddy has been detained since his arrest stopped a man with a shank who was trying to get a hold of the mogul. Steele noticed there's a major target on his back at the Manhattan jail in Brooklyn. Another reason why they believe he needs to be released. It's a lot for the judge to consider and emotional for Diddy hearing all of this in court as he awaits his fate. So far, Diddy's children have tearfully asked the judge for mercy. The courtroom also showed Diddy breaking down in tears during the playing of a video about his life at his sentencing hearing in Manhattan federal court. They talk about prosecutors gunning for an 11-year sentence. He had already been sentenced, so this article must be from before that. And again, he said, quote, "I want to apologize and say how sincerely sorry I am for the hurt and pain that I've caused others by my conduct. This has been the hardest 2 years of my life, and I have no one to blame for my current reality and situation but myself," unquote, he wrote. And again, he's writing what he knows will get the reaction that he's looking for, in my opinion. Diddy's remorse equals jailhouse blues. I agree. It's just, it's not justice. He continued, quote, "The scene and images of me assaulting Cassie play over and over in my head daily. I literally lost my mind. I was dead wrong for putting my hands on the woman that I loved. Jail is designed to break you mentally, physically, and spiritually. Over the past year, there have been so many times I wanted to give up. There have been some days I thought I would be better off dead. The old me died in jail, and a new version of me was reborn. Prison will change you or kill you. I choose to live." I mean, jail, first of all, you haven't even been to prison yet. Jail changes everybody. You wouldn't believe how many people find Jesus in jail. And don't get me wrong, I'm glad for you. I hope you really have found Jesus. But I imagine if we took a poll or looked at statistically how many people found Jesus, said they were going to get out, and, to the extent of going to church every Sunday, being first person in the choir, front pew of the church, religious, I'm not going to mess up anymore, I'm going to do the right thing, I'm going to be all of these things because they find God in jail. And then we looked at how many come back for the exact same thing, probably within a 5-year period. I bet it would be astonishing. They all say that. I wonder what state they will send Diddy to. I do as well. I'm going to look it up and see if we can find out. Notice he didn't say women. He said the woman he loved. I think he loved Cassie. I do. Because she wanted to please him. So she did all these things to try to make him happy. He had complete control over her and was able to mold her into what he wanted her to be because he got with her when she was so young. I think that she tried to conform to what he wanted her to be, and he loved the fact that he could have somebody conform to what he wanted them to be. I don't know about the others, but his love is not worth it. Exactly. She's a tortie. I bought her a black mane for Halloween. Aw. Christian for this day. Yeah, while they're in there, but when you get out, do you practice it? Probably not. He concluded, quote, "I humbly ask you for another chance to be a better father, another chance to be a better son, another chance to be a better leader in my community, and another chance to live a better life. I am writing this not to gain any sympathy or pity. This experience is simply the truth of my existence and has changed my life forever, and I will never commit another crime again," he said. With all of this on the table, the judge let him walk free? And we already saw that he didn't. I mean, but when I read this, all I think about is the PR teams that he had that could help him write all of these articles and make it seem the way that he's made it seem. Like he's remorseful and regretful for what he's done and all of the things. I don't think for a second that any of it's true. I think it's his PR team trying to get his ass out of prison. Sincerely love them? I don't know. I would think if he loved anybody, it would have been Kim Porter. But, you know, she's dead now. I think he may have loved Kim and Cassie, but his love is not love. Diddy is crusty and gross. No amount of money is worth looking at that. I agree. Cindy said, found Jesus. When I hear that, I always say Jesus was never lost. We were. You know what? You got a good point there. I agree. Reminds me of a little kid once they've been caught. I didn't mean it. I'm sorry. I'll never do it again. Exactly. Yes. You have a torty? That's so cool. Tom said he should become a used car salesman with a pitch like that. Lord have mercy. He would have every one of them off the lot in about 50 minutes. Speaking of 50, let's talk about 50 Cent. Because I don't know if you know, but 50 Cent has trolled Sean Diddy Combs for quite a while. He talks about Diddy calling him and saying, we need to get together sometime. I'd like to take you shopping. And Diddy, like most men, is like, what the fuck? You want to take me shopping? Like, that's some weird ass shit, dude. Stay the fuck away from me. Donna said he seems like a psychopath. Psychopaths have no capacity for love. Again, I agree. I've seen the mother. We'll look it up. Let me star your comment so we can look it up. Yes, I think that's the Jane Doe. But then I don't know. Evidently, it's not actually, because they said none of the mothers of his children testified. I thought it was her. I thought that it was the mother of the little girl. I think her name is Love or something to that effect. I thought it was her that was Jane Doe, but evidently it's not. So the article starts, he's been, quote, patiently waiting, unquote, for this one. Rapper Curtis 50 Cent Jackson is taking a victory lap after Sean Diddy Combs received a 50-month sentence on Friday, trolling his longtime disgraced rival, who will remain in the slammer. Quote, hey, to whoever was booking Diddy for the speaking engagement, I heard he won't be able to make it, unquote, the Queen's rapper wrote on X, adding a shrug emoji. Quote, I'm available, unquote, Jackson said with a laughing emoji. That's funny. The cheeky post included a court sketch of the artist once known as Puff Daddy alongside a hard-cropped headshot of Combs' lawyer, Mark. Let's pull it up. From 17 hours ago, he said, Lord of mercy, I'm low-key a Swiftie over here. Hot, like, I like this album. Check it out. Wait, I'm the only shout out in the whole album. Here's his post. He said, hey, to whoever was booking Diddy for the speaking engagement, I heard he won't be able to make it, and then put the shrug emoji. And he said, I'm available with the laughing emoji. And he shared that picture of him crying. And then the lawyer like, what the fuck? What the fuck? 50 Cent is funny as hell. Have you guys seen where he talks about Diddy taking him shopping or trying to? He can make it by Zoom, said the classic one. You know, I wonder if he'll get speaking engagements by Zoom like that. The mothers of his kids are probably scared out of their mind. No one wants to die, and Diddy has a long reach. I agree. I think so as well. 50 and Eminem hate him. It's so funny. It is Diddy, not Daddy, but I guess he likes to be called Daddy. He does. Right, Tom, and that's the response any man would have. Like, I'm capable of doing my own shopping. Why the fuck do you want to take me shopping? That's what you do to your old lady. You take your old lady shopping, or a girl you like, or something like that. Like, stop. Exactly, Cindy. If I can't afford it, I don't need it. And even things that I used to buy, I look at now and I'm like, I don't really need it, so I'm not going to buy it. Not a Swiftie. I want to pull up. I'll go back over here, but I'll finish reading this and then I'll pull up where he talks about Diddy wanting to take him shopping. It says the cheeky post included a court sketch of the artist, once known as Puff Daddy, alongside a hard-cropped headshot of Combs' lawyer, Mark. The Jibe referenced Combs' overly ambitious booking of speaking engagements in Miami scheduled for the upcoming week in anticipation that he would be released on time served. 50 Cent had more jokes the day before the sentencing, posting an extended message to social media on Thursday addressed to the judge presiding over Combs' case. Quote, I've had an ongoing dispute with Puffy for over 20 years. He is very dangerous. Multiple times I have feared for my life, unquote. The man who survived being shot 9 times in 2000 wrote to the judge on X. So let's pull that one up. "50 Cent has said about Taylor Swift, shit is popping right now. She shouted me out. She don't shout you out. LOL. This is for big timers only. Wait, I'm the only shout out on the whole album. Custom boomerang suit. You
got the discography over here and the filmography over there. This is like, what's the name, bro? What's this like the in the movie Friday?
I like 50 Cent.
This is the father and Ice Cube's dad and you know what I'm talking about? Yeah, Friday man, though. 1-1. Hey. Can't nobody steal that, Jackie.
It's a nice piece. I don't like the color. The color is weird for me, but it looks nice. I'm getting ready for the speaking engagement in Miami.
So check.
Chelsea Handler and 50 Cent were hot items. I didn't know that. I did not know that. That's him getting ready for them speaking engagements. So here it says, this is the letter to the judge on Diddy's case.
Oh.
This is my letter to the judge on Diddy's case. What I'm scared for my life, LOL, gunitbrands.com. Dear Judge, I have had an ongoing dispute with Puffy for over 20 years. He is very dangerous. Multiple times I feared for my life. I think you should consider the safety of the general and public, Your Honor, before unleashing him upon them. There hasn't been enough time for him to reform or make any adjustments, despite his trying to teach a class in there. As you are already aware, the government has spent the maximum amount of money on deploying federal agencies, which appear to be an army, in 2 locations simultaneously. There he's referencing the SWATs that they did on his LA home, and I think the other one was New York, and that's why he's in the Manhattan jail. But I don't know. It might have been the Miami. Yeah, it was the Miami. I was wrong. It was Miami and Los Angeles. He is so funny. He did, didn't he, though? Hey, Psychic Amelia. Good to see you. I got to go, but this was fun. You have a good weekend, too, Miss Woozy. He did look like a leprechaun. Yeah, it was like an emerald green. He made it look good, even though it didn't really, in my opinion. Like, it's not a color I would ever wear, but he made it look all right. Okay. He continues, later, his son, who's dealing with his own RAPE allegations, claimed that the feds had hit the wrong house. Anyway, Diddy's only going to return to hiring more male sex workers and keeping most of the baby oil away from the general public. And babies need it, y'all. We need it for the babies. Keep him in prison so we can have the baby oil for the babies. My Netflix documentary on this scandalous subject is coming soon, he says. And there he's got the emoji of that man. I don't know who that is. The whole thing about James being 50 and then in that relationship with Diddy. Oh, that's right. Yeah, I remember one of them got the ex-girlfriend of the other or something to that effect. Yep. My relationship with the network is so bad. I don't be wanting to tell y'all my shows are coming on. I hope the girls stop fighting before things escalate. I read some shit they saying to each other, and this is not going to end well. That's a good picture. Back by popular demand. Big compliments from 50 Cent on Fox and Friends. Just trying to see if he said anything else. What? The murder mystery with an ending you won't see coming. Is he working for Fox
But
now,
what
y'all?
happens in cases like this? This case was a surprise to me from beginning to end. Jolene Cummins, a hard-working 34-year-old hairdresser from a small Florida town, goes missing. But what happens in cases like this? When there are multiple suspects, each with plausible motive. Things are even more complicated when the victim never surfaces. After all, no body, no crime. That's how it works. It will take a breakthrough, just one little detail, to crack this thing wide open.
Yo, he's working for Fox Nation now. I did not know that. Miss North said, G-Unit. Dang, baby. All you need is a little bit. That is the judge. Oh, okay. Okay, thank you, guys. Netflix is tanking right now. I don't doubt it. Peacock, maybe? He does always look like he smells good. Look, I ain't gonna lie. If I walked up to him, I would definitely give him a hug that might last a little bit too long. Take a big, like Joe Biden. You see them pictures where he's sniffing them little children. 1994 to 2004, he hasn't reformed. No, that again, yes. Thank you, Lori Ann. That's all of those years that he was doing what he did. He ain't reformed in that little bit amount of time. Wonder if Diddy will be in General Pop. We're gonna look it up. I can't believe he's working for Fox Nation on homicide
Buckle
stuff,
up.
true crime.
This one's arrived. This is 50 Ways to Catch a Killer.
So that's his new show, 50 Ways to Catch a Killer. Interesting. I did not know that. And there he is talking about episode 1. All right. So let's see what. Let me pull it up for you. Hold on. So it says he'll go to the Metropolitan Detention Center, but no, that's where he was at. Let's see. This says, when will Diddy go to prison? So he was sentenced. While applauding the Grammy winner's recovery from drug addiction, the judge said a history of good works can't wipe away his abuse. He apologized. Meanwhile, sentencing is not about him. Here, it's just vanilla bean. Thank you. Sorry, y'all. Hold on. I'll keep it in here so that I can put it up correctly. Will you throw that away? Yeah. Thank you. Okay. When will Diddy go to prison? Combs, who has long maintained his innocence, will be transported to federal prison soon following his October 3rd sentencing. Well, I mean, that didn't tell me shit. Let's go back over here. Oh, maybe I didn't share that. If I didn't, I'm sorry. still misspelled it. It just tells me he's been in custody at the Metropolitan Detention Center. It's not telling me about... Maybe this one will. So this says, where will he serve time? Hopefully it'll tell me. He's convicted. This just gives us background on the case, which is not real important right now. Okay, since September 2024, Combs has been in custody at Brooklyn's Metropolitan Detention Center, the only federal prison in the city. While Combs will serve time in a federal detention center, it is currently unconfirmed if he will be completing his time in Brooklyn or another federal jail. The approximately 13 months he spent there will count towards his 50-month sentence. So they don't know. I wasn't aware that the Metropolitan Detention Center was a federal prison, so he could stay there or he could be sent somewhere else. And the other question was, how much time will he serve? I thought I had an article on that. Hold on, let me check my articles up here. I think the rest of them are on David. Yeah. Okay. Okay, when could Diddy get out of prison with good behavior? Sean Diddy Combs was sentenced to 50 months in prison, but he may be eligible for early release due to good behavior, potentially allowing him to leave sooner than his full sentence. Current sentence details, he was sentenced to 50 months, approximately 4 years and 2 months for violating the Mann Act, which involves transporting individuals for illegal sexual activities. He already served about 14 months in jail prior to his sentencing. Early release possibility, there is an opportunity for Diddy to be released earlier than his full sentence based on good behavior. The specifics of how much time can be reduced for good behavior can vary, but it is common for inmates to earn time off of their sentence for maintaining a clean record while incarcerated. If Diddy continues to exhibit good behavior, he could potentially be released sooner rather than later than the full 50 months. However, the exact time will depend on various factors, including prison policies and the discretion of the parole board. After serving his prison sentence, Diddy will enter a period of supervised release, which typically lasts between 1 to 5 years. During this time, he will be monitored and must comply. His eligibility for release... Let's see what this said. This is from USA Today. Could Sean Diddy Combs go to prison? How much time the music mogul may face? So this might be talking about before he was sentenced. Yeah, that was talking about before he was sentenced, because they're saying he could face up to 10 years in prison. Okay, here we go. This has got exactly what we're trying to find. Sean Combs sentenced to more than 4 years in prison after apologizing for sick conduct. The judge said that a substantial sentence was required to send a message to abusers and victims alike that exploitation and violence against women is met with real accountability. But you did none of that. Okay. We know the background. Sean's lawyer said they will make a recommendation by Monday regarding the prison in which their client wishes to serve his sentence. So we might know on Monday where he's going to be serving his sentence. The judge can make a recommendation as well. Ultimately, the Bureau of Prisons will have the final say and will take into account a number of factors, including the severity of the offense and history of violence or drug and alcohol abuse. Let me come over here real quick and see what y'all are saying. I don't know what connection was lost, but okay. Yeah, I figured, I was thinking that he might have had it like stricken or where we can't really find out where he's going. Club fed. Yeah, you both said it at the same time. Federal prison club fed, I've heard, because it's more cushy than state prisons. And it is. It is. Because that's where your blue collar people go for federal crimes. It's like tax evasion, embezzling, things like that. You're not in there with people who have committed homicide and shit like that. Okay, the U.S. Attorney for the Southern District of New York, Ricky Patel, head of the New York Field Office of Homeland Security Investigations, thanked the judge for what they called his thoughtful comments, specifically crediting the victims and acknowledging their strength and courage in coming forward. This case reinforces two messages. Women and men of federal law enforcement are committed to ridding our country of sex crimes, and we will prioritize a victim-centered approach to investigating and prosecuting these crimes. Judge Janice Combs, the mother of the music mogul, walked out of court to calls of "Keep your head up, Mama Combs" from people in the crowd. She blew kisses and waved to photographers and supporters waiting behind metal fences before stepping into an SUV. They talk about what Cassie's lawyer said, which we just read. Cassie was not in the courtroom, and neither were his former girlfriends who testified. Part of Combs' sentence is 5 years of supervised release. The court also ordered forfeiture of property used or intended to be used to commit or facilitate the commission of the offenses. Like, I'm trying to find out. This doesn't tell me how long he's going to do. I beg your honor for mercy. Okay. When you take into account the time that Sean Combs has already spent in jail and the potential for time off for good behavior, he could serve as little as 2.5 more years in prison. And that sounds about right. So if he serves about 2.5 more years in prison, that would be what? A total of 3, 4. Yeah. But I mean, that's 4 years total. I think he'll get out sooner than that. Realistically, Diddy will just be schmoozing and making more connections once he goes to Club Fed. Well, you know, he was in there teaching people how to run a business. Like, I don't know about that. That's weird to me that he was teaching people how to run a business. I'm going to try to ask this way before we look at the video I was talking about with Diddy. 50 Cent. So if I was sentenced to 4 years in prison, oh, hold on, you can't see it. I'm sorry. Yeah, what kind of business? Exactly. What kind of business are you teaching them to run? I don't know. So I said, if I was sentenced to 4 years in prison, have served 18 months, and got credit for that time, when could I be released with good behavior? And it says 30 months. The release date for an individual sentenced to 4 years in prison who has served 18 months and received credit for that time can be calculated using the following formula. Release date equals sentence start date plus sentence length minus good behavior credit, minus time already served, minus additional credits. And he could get additional credits and probably did for like teaching that class and things like that, or any classes he does. It says, given that the individual has served 18 months and received credit for that time, the calculation would be release date equals sentence date plus 48 months minus 18 months plus 0 minus 0 plus 0 minus 0, which equals 30 months. This means the individual could potentially be released after serving 30 months of their 4-year sentence, provided they have not committed any additional offenses or received any other credits that would affect their release date. So what is that? Yeah, about 2.5 years. That sentence was a miscarriage of justice, in my opinion. I thought the judge would be tougher on him. It was so disappointing. It was. It was very disappointing. Okay, I'm going to play this while I go grab some coffee. This is where 50 Cent talks about Diddy wanting to take him shopping.
He said something to me one time, a long time ago, at Chris Lighty's wedding. He told me he'd take me shopping. I looked at him like, what you just say? Let me move, man, before I do something. You're going to make me mess up the wedding.
Oh, that's a nice gesture.
Let me get out of no, dude, take me. That's what a guy says to him.
I asked 50 about that, and he said you did the same thing to him. You asked him to take him shopping.
Yeah, I thought he needed some clothes.
What? I'm a nice guy.
Yo, why are you and 50?
Hey, yo.
Why y'all got?
Hey, yo, I don't have no beef with
I don't know why.
With Fifth. He loves me. He loves me.
Do y'all really
can't
have
see
a
it?
beef?
I mean, y'all can't see it.
No, we can't
Y'all
see
can't
it,
see
man.
that he loves me?
But see,
you really, hold on, you really think that's hate? When you really break it down, you've been out here a long time. You know he loves me.
I don't think he like you.
You know he loves me.
I don't think he like you.
Okay. He said something to
Really, I got uncomfortable with him because the way he was acting to try and get me to hang out with him was like, yo, I'll take you shopping. Like, and I'm like, what you mean? Like, that's something you say to a woman you're attracted to, maybe.
And he said you did the same thing to him. You asked him to take him shopping.
Yeah, I thought he needed some clothes.
Stop it.
What? I'm a nice guy. What?
Stop.
Diddy ran into.
Okay, I had to step away to grab some coffee, so it played a couple of videos. Yes, 50 would wipe the floor with Puff. And I would be right there front and center to see it, I tell you that much. I mean, and he's right. Like, that's something you offer to do to a girl that you're interested in, or your old lady or whatever, you know? You don't offer to take another man shopping. Like, what the fuck? I thought he needed some clothes. Well, it appears to me that 50's doing just fine with his clothes and his suits and all of his things. You know what I mean? He is facing several new lawsuits from what I saw. Anders said Diddy mirrors his booty often for a long time. I think that's immensely important. And it is, Anders. You always make me laugh. Shelby said, I think I read something by a news thing that said she was sentenced to 4 years and 2 months with more charges to come. You mean he was? I don't know if he'll see any more charges. I doubt they'll bring more charges. They spent a ton of money to get him in for 4 years. I agree. I don't think that they're gonna bring more charges. It would be nice, just like it would be nice for Jennifer Soto to be charged some more, but I don't see it happening. All right, so let's talk about David, the singer, and what has come out about him. I've got a couple of things to talk about with you guys on him. So here, we talked about this the other day, but I did have this video pulled up where his manager spoke out and broke his silence. Oh no, that's a court TV video for 44 minutes. We talked about oh, here's a video real quick of Diddy's mom waving to the crowd. Before we move
problem
on,
head
hold on.
I chose Nutrafol because it was.
Oh, she thinks she's such a star.
How do you feel, Mom? How do you feel, Mom?
Lord, Lord, Lord. All right. So we talked about his manager saying that, you know, I have kids, et cetera, and we're going to talk more about that. Okay. Because evidently he said some more things since then. Let me pull that up. Hold on. How would I reduce the minute? Okay, I found one from a day ago. Because we had talked about it briefly, but it appeared that he had said more about the subject than I originally knew about. So it says, Josh Marshall, who manages the 20-year-old artist and is the founder of Mogul Vision, commented on TikTok that he had zero knowledge of anything. David's manager has denied rumors that he has any connection to the Celeste Rivas Hernandez death investigation. Josh Marshall, who manages the 20-year-old artist and is the founder of Mogul Vision, commented on TikTok that he had zero knowledge of anything. The 14-year-old girl was found deceased in the trunk of David's impounded Tesla on September 8th in Los Angeles. In the comment section of a video recently shared on TikTok, Josh Marshall, who manages the 20-year-old artist and is the founder of Mogul Vision, denied rumors that he has any connection to Celeste Rivas Hernandez. Quote, I never received any emails. I had zero knowledge of anything, and I don't live in California. He added, I work remotely 95% of the time, and my job doesn't require me to have much interaction with any of my clients / David, as there are many others that work with him on a day-to-day capacity, not me. Marshall continued, the news is tragic for so many in our family. I hope the proper authorities get to the bottom of this soon. Let me remind people this is a lot of speculation and alleged. In the meantime, I am with my family and helping them emotionally get through the news of this tragedy. Please report on factual information, unquote. And we saw that. But there was more on it, I thought. I wonder what he was saying was not factual information. All right, let's jump over here. This is titled Inside David's Neighborhood, where Celeste's body sat in a Tesla for weeks.
We're going to begin this hour in David's neighborhood, his former neighborhood, I should say, because you'll remember he moved out of that party mansion a few weeks ago. And for the first time, we are getting a look, a clear look at the lay of the land, specifically just how far away David's abandoned Tesla was from the front door of that mansion. The Tesla with the underage girlfriend decomposing in the trunk. We enlisted the help of a private investigator named Steve Fisher, who took us on that very short walk between the house and the car.
So we're at the house where David and Celeste were staying. That was rented to his manager. This is it, 3-car garage. Although from rumor is that the garage is actually converted into a gym, and that might be why we see the Tesla parked outside a lot. It does have security cameras, and I think that there's a lot more cameras than just the two you see here.
So, I mean, again, with the cameras from the house and the neighborhood and the Tesla and all of the things, like, how do they not know who did this yet? I get that we've got to do the autopsy and confirm how she died, et cetera, et cetera. One, articles in the news are pointing out that she was decapitated, but it's not ruled a homicide. Like, even if she died of not natural causes, even if she overdosed or her death was accidental, somebody, if she was decapitated her, and that charge would be more than just concealment of a body. Number one. Number two, even though you haven't got her autopsy back, like, there's no person of interest, no person that we can definitively say could be charged with concealment of a corpse, even after having all this video footage, all the information from the Tesla, everything that they have, they still can't tell us a damn thing about it. Like, I'm not down with that. I'm not believing that at all. It's a very odd case. I love SF Investigates too. He does work very hard. I'm not either. Law enforcement lies all the time, and I agree, Dandelion. But how in the hell can we not even say who put her body in the Tesla yet? It has been long enough to be able to tell who put her body in the Tesla. Again, we may be waiting to see if she overdosed and somebody just concealed her body, which, again, I don't understand how you can only say that somebody definitely concealed her body if it was indeed decapitated, which the news has reported it was. I'd love some clarification on that from the LA County prosecutor's office. But, like, you can't even tell us who's going to at least get charged with concealment of a body yet? Stop. This again sounds like a case of where somebody with money might get away with something. Neighbors have seen Celeste and David together for months around the house. I read that in a news article as well, Kalisa. I'd heard there's no legitimate source for the claim that she was dismembered. I've heard that too. But why is the news reporting it in these articles? You know what I mean? Like, if that's true, they need to stop doing that. Cindy said, I'm sure the police aren't telling us anything yet. And I get that. LAPD is very corrupt, though, like Kalisa said, and I get that too. I agree with that. And it's curious to me as to why we can't even say who placed her body in the vehicle after all this fucking time.
And also the houses around us. I mean, we're looking at a camera right here on my left. So there's probably a lot that was captured.
Exactly. There was a lot that was captured. It's been almost a month. We can't even say who concealed her body. And let me tell you right now, right here and now, mark my damn words, that if it was me or you, if it was me, Megla's mom, Kalisa Katz, Mustang 1965, Cindy from sunny South Florida, Louise, good to see you, Donna Smith, if it was any of us, we would be in jail right now. Even if she overdosed and we just concealed her body in our vehicle, Louise, Donna, Maylis, Kalisa, Mustang, Cindy, Tom, all of you we'd all be sitting down there in the county jail. What the hell is going on here?
It's a wealthy area. These people value their privacy, and it's a beautiful home. It's also, there's some of these rumors about it being a real party house and everything, but people I've talked to around here said it was very they were very courteous, and it was quiet, and it was not this party house that it was rumored to be. So I'm sure that we'll learn more about that. But as you can see,
life is unpredictable.
Again, this is an article on my computer, so there are ads, and I do apologize about that. If it was on YouTube, there wouldn't be, because I pay for premium. Oh, hold on.
Lots of security cameras about that. But as you can see, all the way up and down this street are homes with lots of security cameras. So anything coming and going from this house was captured not only by the house's own security system, but by the neighbors. And I'm sure LAPD has either subpoenaed or voluntarily collected all that footage already. And the question becomes, had too much time passed to where they still have it. It didn't overwrite, but
I didn't think
as you can
about that.
see, like this house here has a 360 camera right on that pillar, so that would capture anybody coming and going from this area. And this is where the Tesla was parked. Did we even see?
So that's where the Tesla was parked, and you best believe them people in the Hollywood Hills have got some damn security systems and cameras. Let me be the first to tell you, even though I've never stepped foot in California or any of the surrounding states. Mayla said they want the perp to stay comfortable. I don't think they have the crime scene yet. They have enough for PC. It's just, you know, again, I agree with you, Mayla. That's probably exactly what's going on. It just is infuriating to me because, again, if it was any of us, we'd have done been sitting in the jail, probably on homicide charges, even if she did overdose. Yeah, dystopic. As far as the decapitation in the news articles, people do report a lot of misinformation, but it's frustrating because, you know, I go to these articles off of the computer from well-known news sources to get things that aren't misinformation. You know what I mean? So it's frustrating to not even know she was actually decapitated. Ashley keeps saying party house. Others are repeating it. Also, people saying he was a rapper. Neither one is true. Yeah, he didn't seem to be a rapper to me. I don't think he committed her homicide. I think he's a convenient scapegoat. I questioned it. Yeah, he's worth about 2 to 3 million. It was 2 right now, but he's made or was scheduled to make like 4 or something before all this happened. Ashton said, I live very close to Hollywood, and yes, there are cameras everywhere. Everywhere. Yep. Yep. I don't think it was necessarily a party house either. Like I've said, that's a little controversial. I think he was very much in love with Celeste, even to the point where he was obsessed with her. And I think they were just basically 2 young people playing house, not necessarily wanting to party all the time. I'm sure they had friends over and it might have gotten a little rowdy from time to time because they're 2 young adults with no children. But I don't think that it's what we would consider. It's not Diddy's house, okay? Lorianne thinks he did commit the homicide. You can look at the picture in the town in the tow yard and see it's not decapitated. Initially, they said not intact, and people ran with dismemberment. Thank you, Dystopic. I appreciate that. Okay, so that makes more sense. Thank you. It's frustrating when the police want leads for help from the public, yet they make us wait forever for giving us the information. And they're still doing that even with Emmanuel Haro's case. Obsession is very dangerous. 2 to 3 million's nothing in that area, so he's practically Section 8. Lord, I agree though.
On Google Street View, parked, right here. So likely that would capture it. And also, these are high-end security systems. They capture sound as well, a lot of them, not just video. So there could also be audio that could capture what was going on, in the house or right outside the house. The Tesla was normally parked right here. The exit from the house is these gates right there where the trash cans are. And then if we just walk up here a little bit and to the left is where it was left for, what I've heard is more than a month, with her body in it, which is tragic to think about. But it was parked very close by. Again,
It's only knowing that no matter what you're doing online, if it's connected, it's protected.
But it was parked very close by. Again, these are all very high-end homes and with a lot of security. There's more cameras right there. So I think that they'll be able to piece together the movement of the vehicle, and along with the vehicle's own systems, whether even if he didn't have Sentry mode enabled, the car will still capture that GPS data of when it was started and stopped, and where it moved in the last time it was turned off, and it'll also show how many passengers were in it because the seats measure the weight for airbag reasons. So I think there'll be a lot of data garnered.
Sorry. And with that data garnered, like Psychic Amelia, I do believe was trying to ask, why hasn't anything leaked yet? They know. They know. How is it not leaked yet? Is it because he's worth millions? At least a couple million. I don't know. Like, I think more in the Emmanuel Haro case had leaked than what's leaking out about this. So it's got to be in relation to the amount of money he's worth. Kelly said, I think he's being framed by a psycho, but if he did kill her, I think we will find it was in some drug-fueled psychosis. I agree. I think that is where I'm at with it too. If he did do it, I think it was some drug-filled psychosis, or she was going to leave, like we've heard rumors stating that she was trying to leave. If he did it. I mean, I also question if he might have been framed by someone. Donna said, I agree. Ashton OD seems most likely since they are waiting for toxicology reports to come in. And if they're suspecting an OD, is it because they've talked to David and he said she overdosed and I concealed her body or something to that effect? Like, why do you automatically think that she overdosed? We know that he had been interrogated, and if she did overdose, why are you waiting to arrest him for concealing her body? What can I point out? What I can point out to park there, you have to put the e-brake on all the way. Oh yeah, you can tell because it's like a slope. They've got that information back from the Tesla. Why do we not know? He was obsessed, and I feel it will be considered a crime of passion. I agree, Mayla's mom. If he did. I just can't imagine him being so dumb as to do it with all the signs pointing to him. Right, it seems too open and shut. That's why I don't own one of those cars, right, Kelly? I don't think I'd ever get an electric car unless I had to.
So then where the car will be right down here. And here we have a house that's got all kinds of security. So this corner is where the car was parked and impounded from. So I imagine it's one of these neighbors.
You're true. Hey, Crystal.
Made the call to Department of Transportation to have it towed.
One about the
Lord have mercy. Hold on, y'all. Gracious. I know there's more to that. Criminals are not usually the brightest, and he is young, so I'm sure he hasn't committed a crime and gotten away with it, but at the same time, or he might not be thinking, about committing crimes and getting away with them. It could have been a crime of passion, but again, I just think it's too open and shut. It was too easy to convict him. It seems like a setup. It does. It can't be that easy, especially when they're holding back so much from the public. Hold on just a minute. Because it popped up again where they were talking about the manager, and I was trying to find it again. Oh. So I wanted to pull up. I know you can't see anything. I'm going to get it pulled up. I apologize. I'm going back to X because it appeared that there was more to that video from SF Investigates, and I wanted to see if we could pull it up. This is from 15 seconds ago, it appears. It says, it appears the service for Celeste is not today. The funeral home does not show one scheduled either. Hopefully it's tomorrow. The date on the GoFundMe appears to be changed until tomorrow. I really hope these generous funds are being used to give her a beautiful service that she deserves. I just noticed that after the money was raised, the title of the GoFundMe changed from Help Lay Celeste Rivas Hernandez to Rest to Help Celeste Rivas Hernandez family. I hope this girl isn't failed again. People donated to lay her to rest. Please use all of the funds for that. Start a separate GoFundMe for family assistance. I'm still trusting they are doing the right thing in their daughter's name. And that was the GoFundMe that raised over the amount that what they asked for. Because here he wrote, it's touching to see how the public stepped up and helped meet the $25,000 donation goal for her funeral. Here, he says the Tesla that was found near the house David and Celeste were staying at might not even be for David's Tesla. Where it was found was far from the entry to the house, in fact, past the house itself. There are also other Teslas that park right where the key was found, as you can even see the Google Street View image attached showing the location the key was found, along with the location to the garage and entry of the house. So evidently there was a key found here, and the Tesla and the entry to the house was way down here. That's interesting. Can you bring me to right mind because parking around there is scarce? I really think it was an overdose. And he did too much and became psychotic. Maybe. Yeah, but the manager came out and said that he didn't live there. He didn't even live in California. He rented the house. I got it. But thank you. Yeah. I appreciate it, babe. But that he rented the house in his name. In my opinion, David was controlling and abusive. The TikToks he posted bragging about throwing boiling water on his girlfriend for daring to talk to another guy are indicative of his mental state. I can agree with that. His posts are definitely going to reflect his mental state, but I still don't think he did it. It doesn't appear that he posted where he was walking around. Oh, no, he did. It says, this is a segment I did for News Nation with Banfield yesterday, showing the neighborhood of the house that Davis were staying at and where the Tesla was parked in relation to the house, which is what we just looked at. There he was discussing it. I'm wondering what this key thing is. I had not heard about a key being found. If it was an OD, maybe they're looking for the seller. That's true. He's controlling, grabbing her shoulder even in the video, yeah. Okay. So now we're going to jump over here and talk about Celeste. Hold on just a minute. Like, it's giving me every video other than the one I wanted on my new tabs. Anyway, let's go over here. The tragic past of Celeste Rivas is revealed as police disclose 11 calls to her home before the teen's body was found in David's Tesla. It's like 11 calls? Are we talking about mom's house? Are we talking about David's house? Which house are we talking to? Does the key work on his Tesla, though? That's a good question. And if the key was dropped at that location right in front of the house, did somebody snatch her and that's how she ended up dead? Which again would be indicative of a frame job. Or did somebody drop the key while they were carrying her body out of the house and putting her in the vehicle and then couldn't find it? And who put her in the trunk could be several people involved. There was some key found out there, evidently. Guys like David are dangerous because if they get it in their head that you looked at another guy, even something innocent, they take wrong and explode. They aren't thinking of repercussions. Mom's house was the cause. Question, what are the facts that he did it? I feel people are focusing so much on him and not who was blackmailing him, making it a setup. Okay, well, we're gonna read the article and find out more. I agree, Dystopic. Who would be setting him up and blackmailing him and why? Because again, if he did it, I feel like he would be arrested already, at least for concealment of a corpse, even if it was an accidental OD. But also, how do they not know who did it when they've got camera footage from the Tesla in all the houses? The article reads, the tragic story of Celeste Rivas continues to unravel as details expose the troubled backdrop to her short life. Police have now confirmed that officers were called to her Lake Elsinore, California home 11 times between February 2024 and April 2025, long before her decomposed body was found in the boot of a Tesla registered to rising musician David. Celeste's death has left many reeling, not only because of the shocking discovery, but also because of the missed chances to recognize her struggles. According to police documents, several of the calls were filed as minor crime investigations, while at least one was categorized as suspicious circumstances. 4 of the 11 incidents led to formal reports, and deputies reportedly followed up with Celeste on at least 3 occasions. One incident in March 2024 was particularly alarming when police were called to a house 3 separate times in a single day. CCTV footage from around that period showed Celeste at a nearby liquor store, raising questions about the environment she was in and the level of supervision she received. And we heard about, we've heard a lot of people actually talk about Celeste's troubled home life before this. Her ex-boyfriend, which we'll look at next. A lot of people have talked about it. Miss North said, I think he snapped. He was blackmailed a bunch of times by her friends and he just paid. I doubt someone else did it. They were toxic together and she was probably not as controllable as she got older. You do have a point, and that could be what's going on. I don't know. I think if she did die and it wasn't blackmail, I think it was an overdose. I don't think David did this. If we do find out he did it, I think it would have been in a drug-induced rage. And I just think it's too easy for her to be in the Tesla's trunk that's registered to him after being known by pretty much everybody close to them that they were together. I just think it's too easy. And if it was that easy, he would be arrested, I think. I agree. Everyone in her life did let her down, unfortunately. Okay. Celeste's death has... Oh, hold on. I'm sorry. Former teachers have recalled Celeste as a vulnerable young girl who struggled with stability. One teacher remembered that once she ran away to Hollywood, only to be brought back by police to her school. By May of 2024, she had disappeared again, another sign of her repeated attempts to escape her circumstances. The accounts add heartbreaking dimension to what police are now piecing together. At present, David, whose real name is David Anthony Burke, has not been named a suspect, though his Los Angeles rental has been searched as part of the inquiry. The singer, who was on tour at the time Celeste's body was discovered, has only left behind a deleted TikTok comment and has remained silent as the investigation deepens. Scott Williams of the LAPD's Robbery Homicide Division stated that the Tesla where Celeste was found had been parked for weeks, making it likely she had been dead for some time before being discovered. The tragedy raises haunting questions. How many opportunities were missed to protect Celeste? And could intervention at any of those moments have changed this devastating outcome? So 11 times in 14 months. Several of them were filed as minor crime investigations, and one was categorized as suspicious circumstances. 4 of the 11 report incidents led to formal reports, and deputies reportedly followed up with Celeste on at least 3 occasions, and one day they were called out there 3 times in just one day. They talk about it, I think. Hold on. I think they talked about doing drugs. This is what I have when I said, did David and Celeste Rivas mention doing drugs, even though it mistyped it, from 4 days ago. I think I read this. Authorities update on David and Celeste Rivas' relationship and the ongoing investigation. Since the discovery of her body, okay. We know all of this. The abandoned Tesla was found on September 8th, with Rivas' body was registered to David. Rivas' body was found inside a bag in the Tesla's trunk, not fully intact. Police searched a Hollywood Hills home close to the vicinity where the car was found. It was later discovered to have been rented by David's manager. Her decomposing body was found with the tattoo on the inside of her index finger. Her mom said she was dating somebody named David, and so did the teacher. Reports claim she was seen at one of David's concerts back in August, and alleged messages between the two on social media, which have not been verified. And they think that Celeste Rivas, the song Celeste was about her. Williams says they can't find anything as far as their relationship. It would be premature. It's not officially marked a homicide. That's all that one tells me. I don't know. I think it was in a video, dystopic, that they did drugs together. But I think it was in the video from Discord. But I can't seem to find verification of it. But I don't know how I would find verification of it either, unless somebody had reported on it. And it doesn't appear that anybody had reported on it. This again was her ex.
As you know, and we've talked.
Her ex-boyfriend talking about the troubled home life, and then her stepbrother came out and spoke on it as well.
Oh, her mom didn't treat her well or whatever, and she didn't like where she was at.
Did she talk at all about her relationship with her parents?
Kind of. She just said they were mean or whatever. She didn't like them.
What is your last memory that you have of Celeste?
We were at PE, and she told me and my friend that she was running away.
Yeah.
And she said it was because of her parents. And
she was running away because of her parents, and the cops were called out even after she was reported missing. And after she was reported missing, there's video footage of her at her mom's house for her birthday. The year, she went missing in, March or April of 2024. Well, September of 2024, there's video footage from the neighbor's house showing her at her parents' house. So even after she was reported missing, she came back home and then left again. Stoic said makes sense. There was no parties. He was trying to lay low so he could be a freaking creep. Yeah. So many coincidences. Yep.
She was like joking about it, and she was like happy, like joking like she always was, and like it didn't seem real because like she was like playing around, joking about it, and the next day she wasn't at school, and then like that's the last time I saw her.
Yeah, so she had run away, as you know, and we've talked about several times. She ran away in January of 2024, came back, and police got her in February in Hollywood, and then she ran away in March of 2024. Now, we're told that's the last time the family saw her, although there's some conflict over whether she came back after that.
Well, yeah, so it was interesting, too, his interview. I mean, that matches up with what we're hearing from law enforcement, that that she had some type of troubled home life, and that was the reason for her running away, obviously. And then we got this video yesterday, which was kind of shocking because we thought maybe the last time her mom had seen her, or her parents had seen her, was one of the last times she had ran away.
Right.
In spring.
And then this is going to show that video I was just talking about.
In the spring of 2024.
So we spoke to a neighbor directly in an apartment right next door to where she lives. They had Nest camera. I believe we're going to show it.
Footage that was. This is from September 7th, 2024, and Celeste is the woman you see there. She was arguing with the neighbors because some kids were
so the context of the video is she lived right next door. Kids in the apartment building had ding-dong ditched her house. So she was going over there to confront the kids. And at the time, they didn't. The neighbors didn't really think anything of it. They're just like,
they had seen the missing posters, but they was like, oh, well, she's here.
After she left, they were talking. They're like, oh, that was the girl from the missing posters, because the family had gone up and down the block with the missing posters back in April.
So wait a minute. So the idea here.
So basically, she was there in September, even after she had been missing. Kim said, I'm 20 minutes behind, but wonder if he could have the Tesla drive itself when nobody's in the car. Then he could have had the car move while he was on tour. That's interesting. I don't know. I think you'd still have to put it in self-drive mode, or it'd have to feel weight in the seat. But I think that when we got the information about the Tesla had been parked there for some time, they were saying it had been there since at least the middle of August. And he went on tour August 4th, I think. Yeah, her birthday was September 7th, because her body was found a day after her 15th birthday. It wasn't the self-driving model. Okay, thank you. That was going to be my next thing, to look that up. All right, I have this. I don't know what it's going to tell us, but it says new details emerge in the case of the teen found dead in singer David's Tesla. New details have emerged about Celeste, who was found in the trunk of David's Tesla. According to police, sheriff deputies in Lake Elsinore, California, visited her home between 11 times between February 2024 and April 2025, including 3 times on March 19th of 2024. The records state that most of the calls were listed as minor crime investigation and one for suspicious circumstances, and we just read that. She was reported missing April 5th of 2024, and the 3 times that they came back was March 19th of 2024. So about 2 weeks before she went missing for the last time. David has not been charged in relation to her disappearance. He has made no public statement. And her connection remains under investigation, and he canceled his tour. Interesting. Interesting. He had days in between his tour where he could have went home and moved the car. Yeah, we looked up the tour dates, and it talked about it showed places in like California or in the close vicinity to where he lived at. So yeah, the first couple of days of his tour, I think it basically showed us that he did have time to go home and do things if he had to. Yes, he did a lot of things on her birthday, released songs, made major announcements, etc. Yeah, and I think that's because they had been together for a while and he genuinely was obsessed with her. Honestly. Okay, I do have this video of Tyler Robinson. Evidently, shortly after the homicide of Charlie Kirk, he stopped at a Utah gas station. So I wanted to share that with you guys. Let me write down my timestamp. Hold on. All right. Didn't they say she was in the car before the tour? Well, we're not sure. He went on tour August 4th. I remember that. And we have a parking ticket going back to August 27th saying that the car had been parked in the same spot for quite a while, and that's when it was first ticketed. I don't know. Are you talking about David or Tyler Robinson about being self-deletion? He was into dark things, yeah. David was into he had this alter ego that he would like read Bible verses and at certain times and things like that. And some of his videos show cartoon characters where, I mean, everything, the models, the cartoon characters in the video all look like Celeste. And in the videos, he kills her. He talks about killing somebody and not even caring, and romantic homicide. And like somebody on the outside could see these things and say, you know, that's an easy way to frame him and framed him. But I mean, he's also got to be into that stuff somewhat to be posting about it. He talked about liking gore porn. So is it a case of he shared too much and somebody blackmailed him or framed him for this? Or is it, you know, he let his alter ego or things he thought about take hold of him and he committed the crime that he did? Lori, I don't know if he's thinking about self-deletion. I don't know. We don't even know where he's at because remember his parents' house was swatted and evidently he wasn't there. Who knows? It's a sad case, especially if it wasn't him, because he's being framed for this and he's probably lost the rest of his career. I hope not. All right. So let's talk about Tyler Robinson real quick, who evidently visited a gas station after he committed the homicide. So this is a video of him going to a gas station after committing the homicide of Charlie Kirk, evidently. Oh, and there he is pulling up in his car. I don't remember what the name of it was specifically, but that is the car. I think it was a Dodge Charger. Yep, and there he goes getting gas. Wearing the same thing. Yep. The hat, the shirt, everything. He paid with the card at the pump so that he didn't have to go in. Let me make it like this so you can see him. So he didn't have to go in.
Spectrum fiber-powered internet. It's the fastest internet.
And probably wouldn't be recognized because he's still in Utah at this point. And everybody's looking for this man. I don't know. They probably hadn't released the sketch yet. But the FBI is looking for a man dressed in that clothing. Interesting. There's a lot that has come out about him since everything happened as well. He's still just there pumping gas. They did say he changed clothes, but he appears to be in the same thing. So that's weird to me. Dystopic said people noticing that not all of these are black swan type events get you looking into the obvious, yet it's not really. Yeah. I agree he could self-delete. I'm not sure he can actually live without her. He had a spare at his show, so I doubt even a spare can replace the actual Celeste. Yeah, and at that age, you feel like you know, if you lose somebody or you break up with your boyfriend or whatever, you can't move on. You'll never have another love like that. So he finished pumping gas, got back in his car, and is backing out and gonna drive off. Nothing real groundbreaking, but Miss North said his life revolves around her 18th birthday for years, so who knows, right? Hey, little bit of Lisa. Thank you for hitting the thumbs up. I really appreciate it. So I do have a little bit more information. Yeah, when that video was captured, they were still obviously doing the manhunt for him. And I think that's why he didn't go inside. So this article was from 7 hours ago, and it says alleged Charlie Kirk assassin Tyler Robinson's defense could cost Utah taxpayers 8 figures, says experts. I'm just going to play this video after the ad. Hold on just a minute.
I think when we're all said and done, this will cost the estate much more than $500,000. We're talking about 7 or even 8 figures. And the reason is this. When you're dealing with the death penalty, there are mandatory state and federal appeals.
Yeah, the appeals could cost a pretty penny. Lorianne said maybe Celeste wanted to leave David. That was the rumor. There was a rumor that she did want to leave him and couldn't for some reason. Like he was holding her captive or something to that effect.
Of course, if there's a not guilty verdict, which is highly unlikely, or the jurors don't return a death sentence and Tyler Robinson spends the rest of his life in prison, the cost will be less because there won't be any appeals in that case. But if Tyler Robinson is sentenced to death and he has to go through the mandatory Utah state and federal appeals, we're talking about millions of dollars, potentially even north of $10 million. The appeals process will take years. It may be 10 or more years before Tyler Robinson is actually put to death. Because
I had no idea that it cost that much for the appeals process and that it's mandatory in Utah. Yeah, that's a good question. How much did the Diddy case cost? That's a good question. Not even, and we're talking about the taxpayers, not even what it cost him to put on the performance that he did. Right, Hannah?
Because obviously we need to have the trial, and at the
and again, even just talking about the cost of Tyler Robinson's trial, going back to Jennifer Soto and everybody thinking that she could be charged, the state of Florida is not going to pay for another trial when they have their man, Stephen Stearns, who admitted to it behind bars.
We have a guilt phase and we have a penalty phase, and the defense is going to want a lot of time to prepare for trial. I would be surprised if we went to trial anytime before 2027. If there's a conviction and if there is a unanimous death sentence imposed, then the appeals process starts. And that will also take many, many years. And even if those appeals are exhausted, there may be collateral attacks on the conviction, like habeas petitions. We've seen that, for instance, in the Eric Menendez case, and Lyle Menendez case, or in the Scott Peterson case. Those are much older cases from California that are still facing habeas attack. And then there still may be challenges to the method of execution, arguing that it's cruel and unusual punishment. That separate case may be litigated, may even go to the Supreme Court.
Yep. So it reads, Utah taxpayers are on the hook for Charlie Kirk's alleged assassin's defense team, which has the potential to reach 8 figures, criminal defense attorneys told Fox News Digital. After the shooting on September 10th at Utah Valley University in Orem, Utah, Kirk was taken to the hospital in critical condition where he died, officials said. Tyler Robinson was charged with aggravated homicide, 2 counts of obstruction of justice, and felony discharge of a firearm causing serious bodily injury, 2 counts of witness tampering, and commission of a violent offense in the presence of a child. Catherine Nestor, a former federal public defender with more than 30 years of experience, was appointed to be Robinson's attorney on Wednesday, according to a Utah County spokesperson. While the Utah County Commission approved $1 million in initial staffing additions to go towards the prosecution and defense team in Robinson's case, local attorneys told Fox News Digital that they expect the total amount spent defending the homicide suspect to be much higher. This action fulfills the commission's constitutional responsibility to ensure that the individuals accused of a crime who cannot afford legal representation are provided with a qualified defense, the Utah County Commission said in a news release. Utah defense attorney Greg Skordas appeared on behalf of Utah County on September 16th and was helping the county find a lawyer for Robinson. He told Fox News Digital there are specific requirements for an attorney appointed to Robinson since it's a death penalty case. And we saw that in the Austin Drummond case as well. Quote, they have to be what's called death qualified. I know it's weird, but we have a rule in Utah called Rule 8, which says in order to be court appointed on a death penalty case, you have to accomplish certain things. In other words, you've done so many criminal cases, you've gone to trial on homicide cases, you've taken classes in death penalty representation. While there's a contract in place that touches finances, there's no ceiling on it. Criminal defense attorney Nima Rahami told Fox News Digital that if Robinson is handed the death penalty by a Utah jury, the potential amount spent on his defense could be north of $10 million. That is insane to me. That is insane to me. North of $10 million spent on one person because it's a death penalty case. And considering the publicity of all this, I think it definitely could reach that. Unfortunately, I could totally see him keeping her all cooped up in that house, not letting her leave him. That's so horrible. Rest in peace, Celeste. I agree. I don't either, Lorianne. That's a good question. Criminal defense. Oh, we read that. Sorry. Quote, I think when we're all said and done, this will cost the state much more than $500,000. We're talking about 7 or 8 figures. But if Tyler Robinson is sentenced to death and he has to go through the mandatory Utah state and federal appeals, we're talking about millions of dollars, potentially even north of $10 million. He said the number spent by Utah taxpayers will be less if jurors don't return a death sentence, but it would still be in the millions. Sky Lazario, a Utah-based criminal defense attorney, told Fox News Digital the case will cost Utah taxpayers at least a couple $1 million to pay for Robinson's defense, but that's if a jury doesn't hand down a death sentence. that number would be much higher if a death sentence is given to Robinson because of the appeals process, he said. Quote, I don't even know how you'd put a dollar amount on that, adding that the 10 million figure given by Romani isn't off base. And lastly, I did have this. I haven't. I've seen a couple of articles, Cindy, about the guy who committed the the guy who shot up the church, but I haven't and I've clicked them and had them up to talk about, but I just haven't really touched on it. Cindy said, have you seen the GoFundMe for the guy who set the Mormon church on fire? The one for his family is way more than the one for the victim. Shaking my head. Are you serious? We're going to look at it. Wonder how much life without the possibility of parole would chalk up to be. It's a good question. Sky was the Maskell Muse killer's ex-attorney. Really? This says Tyler Robinson's attorney requests more time to review evidence in the Charlie Kirk case. Tyler's Robinson asked a judge Monday for more time to review the large amount of evidence in the case before deciding if the defense will seek a preliminary hearing. He's been charged with the homicide of Charlie Kirk. Prosecutors charged Robinson with aggravated homicide and plan to seek the death penalty. The Associated Press reported that a preliminary hearing would determine if there's enough evidence against Robinson to move forward with trial. Defendants can waive this step, but Robinson's new attorney, Catherine Nestor, told the AP her team did not intend to do so. During a brief hearing on Monday, the defense and prosecution admitted the amount of evidence that prosecutors have is voluminous. Robinson was not present for the hearing and appeared via audio from jail at his defense team's request. Judge Tony Graff set the next hearing for October 30th. According to the Associated Press, the Utah state court system gives individuals accused of crime the choice to waive their legal right to a preliminary hearing and instead schedule an arraignment where they can enter a plea. The Associated Press reported that the hearing in Provo, Utah was open to the public only a few miles from the Utah Valley University campus in Orem, where the shooting occurred. Police arrested Tyler when he showed up with his parents at his hometown sheriff's office in southwest Utah to turn himself in. According to the AP, prosecutors have unveiled text messages and DNA evidence they believe links Robinson to the homicide of conservative activist Charlie Kirk. The AP reported that a note Robinson left for his romantic partner before the shooting said he had the chance to kill one of the country's leading conservative voices, quote, and I'm going to take it, unquote, Utah County Attorney Jeff Gray told reporters before the first hearing. That is weird to me, you guys. I mean, if we want to talk about conspiracy theories and the possibility of all that. Excuse me. Hangnail, it's driving me nuts. Why was the note left under the keyboard that said that, and why is there only a photo of it? Like, how do we only have a photo of this note? I mean, if you want to talk about MK Ultra and psyops and things like that, why do we only have a photo of this note? And if he was radicalized by who? You know what I mean? Like, I still have a lot of questions. Shelby said, I'm so glad I don't pay U.S. taxes. No doubt. Probably a silly question, but what's the difference between homicide and an assassination? Because I'm pretty sure nobody would call my homicide an assassination. The notoriety of it, is it newsworthy? Yep, exactly. Sky was Corey Richards' attorney. I did not know that. Robinson's demeanor is that he will plead guilty for martyrdom, and gone in 4 years, though we know that wasn't a 30-06 that did that. So you're with me. You got a little bit of questions and some conspiracy theories. Me and Mr. Speculating talked about that 30-06, and it had a scope. And I was like, with you in the beginning, I was like, there's no damn way that you could hit somebody from that far away with that type of like that was like an assassin hit, right? And he told me you absolutely could if you had a good scope. And he had been hunting before. And he said, okay, basically an assassin is going to get within 4 inches of their target, okay? Like if you're thinking about, actually, I'll pull it up. If you're thinking about a target like this, okay, an assassin is going to get within 4 inches of this red dot right here, either above or below it. Okay, 4 inches of the of your bullseye. Okay, and if the bullseye was to hit Charlie Kirk right between the eyes, and you go 4 inches above that, it would have hit him in the top of the head, possibly scraped across his scalp. If you go 4 inches below that, it would have hit him in the jaw, the mouth, or the side of the cheek, or something like that. But where the bullet hit him was in the neck after it could have possibly bounced off of something or something to that effect. It hit him in the neck. That is 8 inches below your target. And he said if it was an assassin, it would have to be 4 inches, again, above or below. So for it to be a whole 8 inches off, that's an amateur. That's what he said. That's how he broke it down for me. And it made sense. Whereas Lance, good question. Evidently, Lance is cooperating, supposedly. So I don't know. Gray also said that Robinson wrote in a text about Kirk to his partner, quote, "I've had enough of this hatred," the AP noted. The president has declared Charlie Kirk a martyr for freedom and threatened to crack down on what he called the radical left. Hold on, Basil wanted to go out. Hold on just a minute. Go ahead, baby. I can't leave the door open. I have to go out or come in. All right. He said, "I've had enough of this talk. I'm leaving. I'm done, Mama." Everyone says Lance is in protective custody. Really? A 30-06 is a hunting rifle. It's very accurate. He wasn't a pro sniper, so I believe that is the weapon. You do? Yeah. Rabbit hole, here we come. Lance is the partner, romantic partner. Yep. Who is Tyler Robinson? Tyler Robinson is 22 years old and from Utah, and authorities said he acted alone. A relative of Robinson's contacted a family friend who called law enforcement and reported Robinson confessed to them or implied that he was the shooter. Robinson's roommate also spoke with authorities and showed them messages from Robinson on Discord. Those messages discussed a rifle wrapped in a towel, a unique scope on the rifle, and engravings on the bullets. A family member told investigators Robinson had become more political in recent years, and Robinson had mentioned that Charlie Kirk was coming to Utah Valley University. The family member also said Robinson voiced his dislike of Kirk, saying Kirk was full of hate and spreading hate. The same relative said Robinson drove a gray Dodge Challenger. Police say Robinson arrived on campus in a gray Dodge Challenger. And isn't it convenient? I mean, even thinking about the specialized scope. I want to see. Yeah, I still have it. Let me find it. It's this one. No. It's this one. Okay. Isn't it convenient when we look at the text messages? Where is it? A week. I should have circled back. We have these text messages between them, right? Why did I do it? I had enough. Still okay. Gotta grab my rifle. he talks about something that I want to stress to you guys. Yeah, this is it. So he's talking to Lance Twiggs in a text message and says, quote, "Remember how I was engraving bullets? The fucking messages are mostly a big meme. If I see notices bulges UWU on Fox, I might have a stroke. All right, I'm going to have to leave it. That really fucking sucks." Isn't it convenient that he was talking to his parents about not liking Charlie Kirk? He talks about engravings that are on the bullet. He leaves a note, but we don't have a picture. We only have a picture of the note, not the actual note. And his roommate or the person is completely bewildered by his decision to do this. Like, it just all adds up. If you want to go down that rabbit hole too, this could all have been very much staged, in my opinion. Just a, rabbit hole theory, if we're going to talk about it. I'm in America. I'm from Scotland. Are you really? Okay, that makes sense. And thank you for being here, Lori Ann. I want to go to Scotland one day. Oh, yeah. She's even said that his wife had something to do with it or something. I was like, Candace, ma'am, I'm going to need you to take 15 motherfucking seats. You know what I mean? I think that I saw an article just now where they were saying that the Dairy Queen photo is not real either. Okay. All right, let me see if I've got anything else to talk to y'all about. Hold on just a minute. I don't know if the person is here that was asking me to look into the Chappell case. I did want you to know that I did submit a FOIA on it. This is the information we have about it. I don't know what they're going to send me back because evidently...
We welcome you back to 11 Alive News at 4 as we come up on...
But I have submitted a request.
4:30, and we start with that. Noonan police say a man is behind bars nearly 14 years after this cold case.
So for years, police searched for answers in the death of 17-year-old Blake Chappell. As Joe Ripley reports, new evidence and a confession helped police crack the case.
After nearly 14 years, more than 5,000 days, and countless hours of investigation, Noonan police made an arrest in a case once cold. 17-year-old Blake Chappell disappeared October 16, 2011, after a homecoming dance at East Coweta High School. Police say he was walking to a friend's house in Noonan's Summer Grove neighborhood. What started as a missing runaway case turned into a homicide case when Chappell's body turned up at a creek just 2 months later.
Recently,
so he has been missing for the past 15 years. We're going to look up and see if he's banned from Romania. But Wolfpack, I saw Candace Owens going the fuck off about this too. And I was like, Candace, what the fuck are you doing? Like, Oh, the classic one said, yes, staged is the word. Too many things are sus. Yeah, I got questions. I'm not going to lie. S-U-S, it means suspicious. It's just shorthand for suspicious.
the Noonan Police Department made significant progress in the case.
Noonan Police Chief Brent Blankenship says detectives recently identified 38-year-old Scotty Elliott Smith as a person of interest. He was taken into custody Friday.
Smith was not previously investigated. During the investigation into this new lead, the Noonan Police Department detectives corroborated facts of the case as related to Smith.
Smith is accused of felony murder, aggravated assault, concealing death, tampering with evidence, and a weapons charge, booked into the Coweta County Jail. Police say Smith did not previously know Blake, but confessed to killing the teen in multiple interviews.
We thank the community for the continued support and cooperation throughout this lengthy process.
15 years, y'all. The family had no idea what had happened and how this boy had died, and all of a sudden this man confessed to it. I've got some questions. And like I said, I'm trying to get some answers to those questions, but I don't know what they'll give me because it's an active investigation. I asked Charlie Kirk banned from Romania, and it says there's no confirmed information about Charlie Kirk being officially banned from Romania, but allegations surrounding his wife's charity work has raised concerns. Charlie Kirk, a prominent conservative activist and founder of Turning Point USA, has shown interest in Romania, particularly in discussing its historical struggles under communism. His wife, Erica Kirk, has been involved in charitable activities in Romania, notably through a ministry called Romanian Angels, which aim to assist orphan children in the region. Recently, Erica Kirk's charity work has come under scrutiny due to allegations of child trafficking associated with evangelical ministries in Romania. The claims have circulated widely on social media but lack credible evidence or formal investigations by authorities. While these allegations have created a controversial backdrop, they do not constitute an official ban on Charlie Kirk from entering Romania. As of now, there's no verified report or official statement confirming that Charlie Kirk has been banned from Romania. The discussions surrounding his wife's charity and the allegations of misconduct have generated significant media attention, but they do not directly indicate any legal restrictions on Kirk himself. In summary, while there are serious allegations related to his wife's activities in Romania, there is no clear evidence of an official ban on Charlie Kirk from the country. Further developments may clarify the situation, but as of now, the claims remain unverified. It's interesting that they're being accused of child trafficking.
The commitment of our partners and the community's trust has been vital in the pursuit of justice.
Despite the arrest, Newnan police say this is still an active and ongoing investigation. If you know anything about this case, you're asked to give police a call. In Newnan, Joe Ripley, 11 Alive News.
All right, so far, no information on a motive. It's unclear when Smith will face a judge. To catch up on this case, go to 11alive.com to learn more.
So I found that interesting. And then we have this one real quick.
A Southlake woman made her first appearance in a federal court in Fort Worth, charged for her alleged role in a sex trafficking scheme.
The feds say she helped facilitate so-called sex dungeon encounters for wealthy New York financier. And she was paid millions for her service, is the claim. Fox 4's Davidson Tendry reports.
Well, the story, front page news, as the criminal complaint alleges that for at least 10 years, from 2009 through 2019, that Wall Street financier Howard Rubin, who's reportedly worth tens of millions of dollars, allegedly recruited dozens of women to engage in prostitution. And federal prosecutors say for most of that time, Jennifer Powers, Rubin's assistant, facilitated the encounters. Allegations are Rubin brutalized women's bodies, causing them to fear for their safety, resulting in significant pain or injuries. Rubin.
I'm going to try to pull this information. I hadn't watched this yet, but it sounds like someone who learned from Epstein, since he's a financier with tons of money. These people who have all the money in the world, they're just sick individuals. They get sick. Yeah, make sure you guys are nice to each other, please.
And Powers allegedly transformed a bedroom in Rubin's New York City penthouse into a sex dungeon full of torture devices, at least one used to shock or electrocute women. The two allegedly targeted former Playboy models, Rubin allegedly giving them a safe word to use, but then ultimately not abiding by that safe word. Federal investigators say Rubin and Powers spent at least $1 million of Rubin's money operating and maintaining the trafficking network. Rubin reportedly spent $8 million on his assistant during a 5-year period, including mortgage payments on her home in Southlake. We received a tip that she was a substitute teacher in Carroll ISD, but while Carroll ISD does not deny that claim, it says there is no connection between the allegations and any activity within CISD. In
So how are you a substitute teacher by day and moonlighting as a someone who procures Playboy models for somebody by night, doing these horrific things? And all the school says is there's no connection between what she's accused of and our school. Not that there's no connection of her being at our school. Right?
2017, Rubin and Powers were sued by some of these women. A jury found at trial only Rubin was liable and awarded the women nearly $4 million. Rubin currently appealing the decision. I spoke with a former U.S. attorney for the Northern District of Texas, Richard Roper, about the time gap and how federal prosecutors might use the assistant against Rubin.
Why did it take so long to bring these charges? It could be that the alleged victims wanted their day in court in the civil arena to be able to collect damages before the criminal case. The prosecution would consider offering Powers a better deal to convince her to flip on Rubin. That's a tried and true tactic of federal prosecutors.
Powers was granted bond in federal court in Fort Worth Monday and has to appear in New York Wednesday. Rubin, labeled as a flight risk, not given the option for bond at this time. Rubin and Powers, if convicted, each face a minimum of 15 years in federal prison. We'll keep our eyes on it, but for now, reporting, David Centendry, Fox 4 News.
Interesting.
Good.
So Howie was in New York and Powers, I didn't catch her first name, was in Texas. I'm going to try to get those documents for you guys. Okay, well, y'all stop fighting, and I'm going to end this stream for today. I want to thank you guys for being here. I want to thank you for the support. I want to thank you for hanging out with me as we talked about these cases and the updates we have in them. I'm hoping to finally get some of the interrogation clips that I have paid for back next week. And if you guys want to talk about the interrogation or interviews with Bethany Funk and other people from the Idaho 4 case, we can do that next week. You guys let me know. Maybe I'll put up a poll this weekend. I've got to go visit family, so I'm going to be doing that. But I will be around these YouTube streets. Hold it down. This is an adults only stream. Absolutely. If nobody has told you, you are always enough. You are important. You are special, and you are loved. And I love you all very much. I thank you all for hanging out with me. Because you guys are like, always here, no matter what. And I can't express to you guys how much that means to me. It really means the world. Lord have mercy, Wolfpack. I really can't thank you guys enough for hanging out with me, even when we don't have stuff that is breaking and not everybody finds all of the stuff newsworthy, and you guys are here day after day after day, and it's just a beautiful thing, and I can't thank you enough for that. And things, like I said, I'm working on being able to come on camera and stuff eventually. I've still got a couple of things to work on. It still looks like it's going to be a couple of months out, but I'm trying to do that for you guys because you guys are important to me. And I do feel like we're like a speculating family over here. And I love our speculating family very much. I love you very much. I hope you guys have a wonderful and safe weekend. And I will be back on Monday. Monday Fun Day. Yay. So until then, stay safe. Love you. Bye.